are
Hello.
live. We are
Fantastic.
live.
I'm pulling up Twitch myself so I can see what the hell's going on
Indeed,
because I have no
indeed.
idea. So,
Yes.
welcome. If you're here already, it's amazing to have you. If not, we'll be here in a few minutes. And if you're not, you're missing out.
Oh shit! I
You're
forgot to
missing out.
do
Oh, what'd you forget?
the form.
Rathbeard and Spin already saying hello.
You're gonna have to hold it down for a few minutes while I get the Twitch attendance thing set up.
Oh, hello, Smithy. So yes, thank you everyone for joining us already. Mighty Forgo, Gurky, Aladro. Look, gosh, we got. It's been a while, guys. Thank you for showing up. I don't. We weren't live, I guess, a little bit before Christmas, so it's been a couple weeks. So we apologize for the delay, but obviously, family and all this other stuff, and moreover, Frank. He's been state to state, man. He's been
Yeah,
globe hopping. He's got
yeah,
shit
man.
going on. He's a mover and a shaker.
I am getting out of Florida, so hopefully within the next 2 weeks,
All
we'll
right,
see.
so there you go. So
Just
Frank's
waiting on
been
the mover.
busy. I've been busy. Obviously, if you didn't know, Frank's done an excellent job, and you guys, not just Frank, you guys have done an excellent job telling us what we missed with the sire updates. Frank went through and updated the majority, at least through a couple days ago, the changes
Yeah, I never
that
announced.
okay, but we made them. We made an update, so you probably saw some of our mistakes get resolved, and I'm sure there's plenty more that we screwed up. So
Yep.
keep giving us that information. We will do at least one more update before the end of February, probably two. We're going to do probably one. Let's go ahead and assume we'll do two. We'll probably do one around the 17th, somewhere around there, that will pick up what is on the board, what you guys have sent us that we missed. And then after that, what we're going to do is on the very final day, it'll either be final within a day or two, end of January, beginning of February, somewhere within that few days. We're going to post a final list. So if you guys have any changes for this upcoming season, any additions, we need to know what they are by February. Actually, let's just say January 31st, so we can get them in. The sire info, unless something dramatic happens, and I don't mean that some new sire decided that he's going to stand in the middle of Iowa. Don't care about those guys. Also, don't even care if it's a new decent sire in Kentucky, because we have to put a nail in this at some time. But it's going to be, if it's a world beater sire, that's a different animal. But potential. But then that's a whole different ball game. Probably likely to happen in January, late January. So get them in late January. We'll get them in. We'll do one last go around. We'll be able to put a nail in our final, sire updates for the year,
Yep.
which is exciting.
Final extract that we've been working on pretty much since November.
We added over 600 horses this year, which is a lot. 600 and what, 80 some? And that was before we did this last
680.
round.
That was 680 added plus the 1,300 updates to the existing. So we were busy
Yeah.
November, December.
And updating several thousand that were still standing. So yeah,
Indeed.
I think we still had over 3,000 horses in the game. I do understand. Just to let everybody know, I will probably try to come up with a more formalized way that we're going to do updates going forward. That's going to include some new software that we're going to be writing with this restructuring and pretty much infrastructure. We want to make the infrastructure work not only on the back end, which is obviously where we're focused now, but the next set of infrastructure stuff is going to be stuff for you and for us to give you the opportunity to improve what we can do, to make these updates a lot smoother next year. Hopefully we can get, all the stuff you guys are telling us after the fact, no fault of your own. I mean, we don't have a great mechanism for doing these updates. And we want to give you that opportunity to make those updates during the year when you find out information, when you find out a sire is going to move, when you find out a sire's passed away. We haven't historically had a good way of flagging them pensioned or passed away, which is why Speedstown seems, you'll see a couple of sires rise from the dead, and we don't always catch them. Speedstown was one this year that we missed. Hopefully he's decided he's not going to be standing in the game anymore at this point. Otherwise, we've got ghost horses in the game, and there are plenty. There are fillies that are sires in the game we've seen, but we're trying to eliminate issues like that. And you guys, giving you guys the tools directly will help that a lot.
Indeed. I mean, the wiki helps quite a bit, in today's format, but there's a much more formalized way that we've kind of figured that we could go through to make this a much smoother experience, not only for you guys, but for also for us. So, like Mike said, we're bigger and better down the road, obviously. Right now is all infrastructure. That's where mine has been pretty much since the beginning of last year. I would say we did take a little bit of a break to get some features in. But
quite a bit of a break. Those the leasing feature, and I know we've got duplicate horses listed in the leasing. I'll try to fix that the next day or two. I don't think it's causing any problems.
Nah, I think it's just a visual bug is what I think
we'll get to that. I'm sorry it's clunky looking, but we'll fix that. But as far as everything else goes, the leasing, as everybody knows, took a little longer than we expected. We had we had to press pause on some of the extra breeding that we've had, which has really helped with a lot of the stress on the server. I mean, I'm really glad. Looking at the beginning of this year, particularly, I'd have to run the numbers, but last year was surprisingly high breeding season, especially considering that we put limitations in place. So, our game isn't growing exponentially, but the amount of, I believe the players, I believe you guys are as active or more active than you've ever been.
Right.
So it's really, we're trying to do things to alleviate pressure. The infrastructure changes are going to make a lot of the problems we have, like the logins when you get an error page, that'll help go away. But we're working on that. That's on the short list. And just to let everybody know, not this upcoming week. Tomorrow I got to go and I got to be a big boy and put on my big boy work pants. But the following week, I'm actually going to take an entire week off and devote it to infrastructure. So hopefully we can get some big changes infrastructure-wise. So wish me luck. I'll be working. I still try to put in at least 20 plus hours a week with the game, just coding, adding stuff. Some weeks it's 40. But I love you guys. What can I say? You guys are lovable. Most of you. Actually, all of y'all are lovable. But that week I'm just going to be grinding my eyeballs out, and we're going to get a whole bunch done.
So before we go too far, and I do want to point out, if you haven't already, click the link in the chat. We have there's a link I pinned in the chat. It is the Twitch attendance that's going to help us when it comes time to spinning the wheel,
spin the damn wheel,
and getting winners and that whole shebang. The other thing I wanted to do was, I guess, the call outs in the chat here. So we got Sea Cadets with us, FL Rancho, Lindsey Park, JD Trot, Lucky Rabbi, Laudro. Laudro says he's got some good questions for us tonight. Mighty Forgo.
Damn it, Laudro.
Smithy, we got Cash, Amir, Magoo, let's see, Spin, D-Money Schaefer, Dockman, I think I said Lindsey Park, Dwayne Crisp, who else we got? Squirrel, Shag, Baggio, Punter, Taffy, who else? V-Man, Dunville, Glenmore Park, where we at? Hack is here, Jono's here, Esremel's here, and that is it. We got 46 strong. So again, if you haven't,
Sunday night late, we're doing solid, man.
We're competing with Sunday Night Football right now. We're doing pretty damn good.
Is Sunday Night Football even on tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, it is. It's a good game tonight, right?
Yeah, it's a real good game.
Yeah, it's a legit game. We're not competing with well, I guess the Buccaneers game was a legit game, even though they were Panthers. Panthers are like the worst team I've seen in the NFL in years. They're so bad this year. It's unbelievable.
Did you hear the stat on the Panthers this year?
No, I did not.
They're the only team ever in NFL history to never have a lead going into the fourth quarter of any game this year.
Really?
Of any game.
Amazing.
That's wild.
They are bad. And you know what? Even though I'm an NFL South fan, has been well documented, Saints fan here. And I love the fact the Saints did that. Did you hear what happened with this? First off,
I saw.
Yeah, you saw, but there's even a second layer to it, because we saw it. To anybody that doesn't know, there's only a few seconds left in the game. The Saints line up in a victory formation at the 1 yard line. Looks like they're going to kneel. They act like Jameis Winston acts like he's going to kneel. He hands the ball off, and the guy scores a touchdown, and sets off all kinds of problems. But the beautiful thing about it is they actually asked the coach, can we score this last touchdown? And Dennis Allen said no, and Jameis Winston's like, fuck it, I'm doing it anyway.
Yeah, they did anyway.
That was great. I love that.
He said, fuck your authority. I'm going to go ahead and do it. That's exactly what he said.
The Saints fan base hates Dennis Allen. The Saints hate Dennis Allen. So yeah, good. I'm glad he might not be the coach next year. And then he threw him under the bus in the press conference.
I know he did. And you see that Arthur Smith got upset about it too?
Fuck that guy.
Oh no,
he got fired. A billionaire or something. Fuck him.
He got fired.
He got fired already?
Yeah, he got fired.
Good.
So, or at least I think he did. That was the last I heard. I don't want to be spreading bad rumors here because, I'm your football insider.
He doesn't deserve to be an NFL coach. Let's just be honest here.
Yeah, so let's see.
There are at least 7 people in this chat room today that deserve to be an NFL coach before him. I'm not including Frank or myself. But there are at least 7 people in this chat room that are NFL worthy coaches before that clown.
I know a few folks myself. So first question we got was from Magoo. It's any idea how many active players are in the game? And I think the last time we looked, it was
600-700 or so.
Yeah, somewhere between 500 and 1,000.
Yeah, it varies. It can month to month. It's really
depends on your definition of active.
Yeah, it's really hard to tell. IP addresses are not a perfect metric, but they help. And it is usually like you said, between 500 and 1,000. Again, we really haven't pushed to get new players lately because the infrastructure kind of needs some work. But yeah, well, I think part of this year, once we get the infrastructure, we will make a push to try to get a bigger fan base for the game because you guys seem to like it. I love it. And I think with the right, I mean, we've got, I would argue, person for person, one of the most consistently active and passionate and just active and passionate fan bases, person per person on the internet. There's not many websites, I would argue, that touch you guys. You guys are fabulous. And you guys, like we said, you guys have given away horses to new players and things. You guys are an amazing player base. So I'd love to see that number go up. It's nowhere near where the game is in no position to take it higher. And that's the thing. And that's why we really are working on infrastructure, A, to make our jobs easier. But B, if we do get an influx, we can cover it pretty easily.
Support it, yeah. Let's see. Esremel says, or I'm sorry, where was I? Dunville says, pleasantly surprised at the quality of mares available. At least for 2-year-olds, different game for me this breeding season. Yeah, there's a shit ton of them in mare leasing right now.
Oh yeah, Lenny went berserk.
I think Lenny's getting rid of everything. I think.
Yeah, from what we understand, Lenny this year is going to be going to offer a lot of mares, good ones, really, really good ones that he normally wouldn't. He's the guy's been playing the game 20 years. He's one of the best players we've had for consistently. He wanted to shake things up a little bit, and I wouldn't be surprised, at least from what I gather, he's just wanting to change the way he plays the game a little bit. He's not going anywhere, I hope anyway. But I think he's putting a lot of mares out there, and this is what mare leasing was for. I mean, if you think about it, I'll tell you what I think his strategy is. Not to bust his strategy, but you know what? If he can put those mares on the market, get points, breed more homebreds, and ultimately he's going to get more points, breed more homebreds, and then ultimately replace some of those older mares going forward that are starting to roll off because some of those mares are getting 20. So I think he's really kind of like ramping up. So you guys better watch out. You better not take too many of his mares. I think this is a long game for Len.
He's replenishing the ranks.
Absolutely. So yeah, but he definitely is, and it's not just Lenny. There are some other good mares out there. I can't remember who else, but he was the one that really jumped off the page.
Let's see. We got Esremel says, "Will there be more watching and sorting features in the rewrite? Would love to see a way to watch personal horses and focus on them sorting and such without the penalty for moving them all to a handful of stables."
Yes, ultimately, and this is something that we'll probably touch on. I'm sure the question is going to pop in the chat. But ultimately, the goal would be, and I don't know how to do this. So if you ask the question, I'm literally going to say I have no idea. This is just pie in the sky. A pie in the sky idea would be to somehow bring all horses into one stable, but also keep the points isolated. I know that, again, I have no idea how to do that because if we put all the horses in one, then the person that runs the most is going to get the most points. That's why we have the sub-stables and we isolate points the way we do. There's a better solution. I have no idea what it is. But part of that, if we especially keep them under one stable like that, the idea, at least that I was thinking, is where you can almost hashtag horses. So if you have a horse that's like a hashtag this, hashtag that, you can almost give a horse a series of hashtags. And if you're searching on the hashtags, it'd be like hashtag well-breds. And it'd be, so almost like a Twitter or something, or X, I guess, at this point, or anything, but almost like include hashtags for horses.
Basically,
that's an idea.
Categorical keywords, more or less, is what we're talking about.
So that's theoretical, something like that. I won't say that's the avenue we're going, but I do think that, because even just sorting and things, it's like if you can only have so many sort options without literally flagging horses. It's like, hey, wins, this mayor, this sire. But if you allow hashtags, you can literally categorize different horses in several different categories. And if you're like, hey, I just want this, if these are my claimers, these are my cheap claimers, these are my good claimers, these are my win streaks, these are the horses I'm trying, but really you guys could drive it. And I think the hashtag option, something similar to that would be helpful.
Something a little bit more functional on the front end as opposed to just a grid or something like that. And it won't necessarily just be like hey, this is sort your horses in alphabetical order and then sort by the sire or something like that. It'll be a little bit more functional than that and allow you to really kind of dig in the way that you want to. So or we hope anyway.
And hashtags are great, man. I mean, I'm sure I'm not the only person out here that's done Twitter in his life. I don't do it anymore. Been off Twitter for over a year. But yeah, the hashtag stuff, something like that.
Let's see. We got Estremos did something about working on a doom room. I don't know what a doom room is.
I don't know. This sounds like some Saw level bullshit. I don't know about this.
or like a bomb shelter. Let's see. We got Dwayne Chris says it's not as bad as being as bad as the Detroit Pistons. I'd probably agree with you there.
You know what? Honestly, I've got the NBA ticket right now, which I don't normally have, but you bet $5 on FanDuel at the beginning of the year, and you got like 3 free months of NBA ticket. I've been watching the Pistons, and they are bad. They're historically bad. Cunningham, if he gets a little better shot, he can drive. He's really good. And there's another guy. They've got a couple guys that are decent, but they have no idea how to run an offense. It's just a freaking mess. So yeah, but the Pistons, at least they have a little bit of talent. They just need to be not a bunch, but they have some.
Also, I see you guys hit me up in chat. I wasn't reading the attendance. I was just reading whose names I saw on Twitch at that moment. So I have not looked at the attendance yet. I usually
48.
I usually give that a few minutes before I do so. Although there's 2 lists in here for some reason.
All right. Confusing.
Oh yeah, this just blew my mind. I don't know what it did. It just brought a list back from.
Frank looks like he's splitting atoms over here. By the way, the biggest problem that you're probably seeing is we're a little sluggish tonight. We're both a week on the wagon, right, Frank?
We sure are.
We're definitely going to finish this dry January since we both kind of like shit the bed in November. But yeah, we're going all through dry January. So
to be fair, though, we didn't exactly select the best month to start going dry. I mean, around the holidays was not ideal.
No, and you're moving, and
this month will work out a little bit better. Let's see. Yeah. We got Ladro says, please, guys, no one is worse than the Jets. Not even close. Well, New England was.
They won 7 games this year. I don't want to hear about it. They won one less game than the Saints, I think. Right? Was it 7? Did they win 7? 7 and 10, right?
They won. I think it was 7. Yeah, or 6. Maybe it was 6. Either way, it was more than New England.
Zach Wilson's still my favorite quarterback for all the right reasons.
There you go. All right. We got. I'm trying to find some comments here. Ladro says, Mike, can you talk slower? And Frank, pick it up.
I cannot talk slower. I would try to talk slower. I'll put it that way.
You're good, man. They're just.
I get volatile. I've always been told that I talk a little too fast, but I get excited. You guys, I got a lot to say. Not anything good, but I have a lot.
Rick, you are in. I see you, buddy.
Is somebody named Rick in here?
Yeah, Rick 480. Oh, by the way, speaking.
Oh, I know him. I was thinking RICK. I was like, we got a guy named Rick, but no, Rick 480.
Speaking of Rick, if you have not seen the movie Iron Claw,
I have not.
Ric Flair is in it. Not actual Ric Flair, but there's a guy who plays Ric Flair, and the character is awesome. But
is it? I've heard the portrayal kind of sucked, but does the portrayal good?
In the beginning, like when you first see him, you're like, that's not fucking Ric Flair. They couldn't get anybody better than that. And then he starts talking, and like you go in the back into the locker room and like listen to him, and it's like, okay, yeah, that's fucking Ric Flair.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, no, Iron Claw, very good movie if you're into wrestling. 100% recommended. I saw it last week, I think, and it was awesome. So let's see, find some comments. Looking for some comments. Taffy says, love to see a way to identify lease and open mares. Yep, we'll figure that out as well. I mean, again, there'll probably be a hashtag for it, so you just type the hashtag in, and it'll be borrowed, leased, dormant, something like that. What we got here? Sorry, guys, getting caught up into the chat. You guys are going ham today.
They are.
Well, before we take questions, Mike, do you want to go over the update or any more questions? Sorry, not questions.
Yeah, we'll take questions as long as they want to ask them or whatever.
Okay. We got Laudra who's asking, any interest in allowing us to use a combination of credits and points for breeding? I often have less than 100 BPs in a stable after lots of breeding. Technically, you can now.
Yeah, you can. It's I don't remember what the logic is.
There's a surcharge for it though. I think if you're trying to convert like a BP share into credits, then there's a surcharge for it. But otherwise, you should be able to, like, if you're scratching, you should be able to do credits, BPs, credits, or credits, BP, or BP credits. Like,
and there may be some sort of and again, this is just stuff that we batted around. And I won't promise this will ever make it to the game, but possibly the ability to buy credits with BPs, not the other way around. But because generally BPs are kind of the law of the land, but something to where you can use the BPs that you have and convert them to credits,
right?
And then that way, if you wanted to use them to buy races and things like that, because there are some things there are things you can do with BPs you can't do with credits. There are things you can do with credits you can't do with BPs. As has always been said about BPs, BPs is kind of the primary game earn currency. So I think that should be more flexible, and I think it should be more valuable to use inside the game. But there might be an option one day to turn BPs into credits and then use those credits however you want them, and then you could But as far as like merging the two, 1-for-1, credits and BPs have always been a not 1-to-1 ratio, and they're not ever going. They're just kind of like apples and oranges a little bit. I'm not sure that merging them together would. Everything's on the table, but and I'm sure
be very, very careful with that. That's the only thing, because that's the entire economy of the game.
Right. So I mean, we before we ever came along that, it would be a ways away if it was, and it would definitely have to be a long thought out process with some. Right. And I think that part of the thing, our big focus on the BPs, or kind of a currency / BP, is the ability at some point, like I said, is I think that focusing on like a one master stable idea with some kind of like weird, passing out of BPs or something. I think that that'll make your guys' life easier. I do hate I know why the sub-stable thing is in place. You guys probably know, A, it's a silo, but B, it's just a remnant from the old game. Mm-hmm. I'd love to fix that. And I think that, just something to change that, modify it, make it easier on you guys would make your guys' life a lot easier. And I think that some of the issues that we run into, like, maybe BPs and credits, it'd be a lot more convenient if you were just able to manage under one stable. But we can figure it out.
We got to figure out a good way to kind of roll things up.
Mm-hmm. That'll definitely be
fair. That's fair.
That's the big thing, the fair part, because like we said, it's easy. It would be easy for that to get out of hand if we allowed everybody, like we said, to put it under one master stable and all the BPs under one master stable. There's going to be a lot of people left behind in that world, and we want to avoid that. We want, that's the whole reason that we silo.
So one of two things happens in that scenario, though. Like, it would basically send sire pricing on the BP. If we did roll up just one, like just at one level, it would send the sire BP prices skyrocketing. It would be like Tap. It would probably be going for like 40,000 BPs.
Maybe not 40,000, but at least a few thousand.
I'm just
a lot.
I'm blowing smoke. But the point is like
1 million BPs.
Right, exactly. And then y'all would be, sending your BPs to Dan and Lenny to buy Tappet shares.
Right. But yeah, more importantly, it really is to try to keep fairness in the game, keep a player who can only play a couple hours a week, at least on some level playing field for his 2 stables or 3 stables versus someone that may have 100 stables. We've seen there are players that have several hundred stables, and they would obviously be at a great advantage if we didn't silo points.
Not Rich Man, who I believe is Crater, has said, when do you think Freshman Sire List will be completed? That's probably going to be first week of February. I think is the last extract that we're going to do, last and final. We're not going beyond that, and we'll pick it up again next year.
So get in. If we're missing anybody, you see we're missing anybody, especially if they're not in the wiki, get them in the wiki. If they are in the wiki and for some reason you can't update the sire information, some people can, some people can't. we can't update the sire information. I think we have a thread out there. Make sure that the information gets in the thread. We will probably do 2 more updates again. One of them around the 17th, and one of them at the very probably early February. But we want every piece of information in by January 31st. So anything that comes to us after that, it's going to have to wait until next year with an update, because we can't. As much as we would like to keep the game, in real time, realistic.
It's a grueling process.
It's grueling, and it's also like, and somebody brought this up last stream, is we have to spend our time somewhere, and we're spending a lot of time this year, particularly getting the sire list as updated as possible. Next year, we'll spend a lot of time updating it. I think this year is going to be one of the harder years, but next year we'll update it again as we do. But we have to put a nail in the, we had to put a stake in the ground and go, this is it. We had plenty of time to update it. So, the probably February 1st, 2nd, somewhere around there will be the last update for the year.
Yeah. All right. So Laudro says, question 2, I set up a farm stable to hold my 2-year-olds until I move them to their regular stable. So now I have 75 new horses on the farm in that stable. I accidentally bred a horse into that stable. It arrived, but I can't send it to the farm because there are more than 10 horses there. I'd suggest horses should arrive in the stable that bred in it already on the farm. I guess I'll let you talk to that.
I'd have to think.
To be honest with you, and I don't mean to pick on you here, Laudra, that sounds like it's a little bit more of an inconvenience for you because you made a mistake and you want us to correct it. But I get it. I don't know if it solves the problem though, because then it could you could ultimately say, somebody else could ultimately be like, well, I don't want my horses to start on the farm. So damn if you do, damn if you don't.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of one of those things where if it's a real pain in the ass, we do try to fix stuff, or at least one-off stuff here and there, as long as we don't get these requests every week from somebody. Right. We don't mind if somebody makes a mistake. We get in there, we fix. Most people, not we'll say most people, but at least a lot of people in the chat. Yeah, maybe probably most, honestly. They've had an issue where they're like, hey, can you fix this one little fuck up I did, this one little mistake? And we try to accommodate. We're not out here to be assholes.
Yeah. But if you want to move that one, Laudra, just shoot me a message and I'm more than happy to do it for you, dude.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's just I don't know about an entire structural change for that though. That's the only thing.
And that kind of goes back to the infrastructure and kind of the rewrite is things like that are good knowledge. I mean, honestly, let's be honest about the farm. I mean, part of the reason we have the farm is a couple reasons. First off, so we can have horses that we're flagging as we don't want to run them this week. I mean, I know Larry, when the barn started changing color, he didn't like that. Because it would flip back to color after 42 days or whatever, because you could take it off the farm. He wasn't a big fan of that. But as far as that goes, it's a flagging mechanism. And it's also, an ability to keep horses in a stable that don't want to run in a period of time. So you can have more horses in the stable than 10 that are running. We've used the farm historically in the game, not exactly the way it was intended. But the nice thing is, as we rewrite the game particularly, I mean, it may be more of a, again, and that becomes an idea of a thought process on how we do that. It may be part of like a hashtag farm, if you want to call it on the farm, if you want to put it on the farm. And then you don't necessarily have to have all the horses, in a farm and then beholden to, oh my goodness, this sub-stable has this, and it becomes convoluted. But again, it goes back to an infrastructural change, and it goes back to rewrite, and it's just going to take time. But, those issues like that are definitely, we hope that some of these changes on the front end, we have to do the back end first, but when we start working on the front end, we're hoping that some of our logistical changes will solve some of the problems you guys have with the UX of the game that has been caused by the sub-stable system.
Yep. Yeah, it'll get cleaner. It'll be much easier to kind of maneuver and really get you in a more normalized starting point.
Yeah.
Let's see. Taffy says we can do 1 BP and the other 2 credit for breeding. You can't do BPs for 2 unless they're the same stable. Yeah, no, that's 100% accurate.
Yeah.
I didn't say otherwise. That's not what I was saying when I was saying you can merge the BPs and the credits. I was just saying you can do BP credit BP, but yeah, those BPs all have to live have to be owned by the same substable.
Substable.
Yeah. So, let's see. We'll go down. We got. I like that idea, Mike. It will help with the exchange rate for Aussies. Did I miss something? What was the idea?
Probably the BP to credits.
I got you.
That'd be my guess.
Yeah. That makes sense. Sorry, I'm slow tonight, guys. I don't have any alcohol in my system.
That's right. It's Frank's go-go juice.
Indeed, that's what keeps me. Spry. We got Dingo says, question from Kimuggle: can the breeding limit be varied based on the number of stables a player runs? He says he is learning to hate hamsters and surfers.
Yeah. It's tricky because this goes back to the reason that it's the way it is because some people run 7, 8, 9 master stables. Some people run 7 or 8, 9 master stables that have 20 stables in them. Some people run 1 master stable that have 300. Some people run 3 master stables or 4 master stables with 200 in them. The reason it is what it is primarily, and this goes back to, the reality of it is it's an infrastructure issue on our side. Or it's not just an infrastructure issue, but that's the primary reason we have to slow it. It's a
data management issue and storage issue as well. So
but if we start, the thing I can see, and we've seen it, because we allow transfer of horses across master stables, and we do that almost exclusively because we want residencies to encourage giving away horses. I love the fact that the players in the game go to the chat room and give new players horses, and you're able to breed a horse in one master stable and move it to another master stable. If we stopped limiting it by IP address and started limiting it by master stable, the next thing we'd see is a lot of master stables with with a handful of horses or a handful of people in it. And, they would end up breeding into 1 master stable, 2 master stables, 5 master stables, 7, and moving all the horses over to the 1 master stable. It's that tends to be like, and then it doesn't help with it starts putting more load on the server, which was the primary reason we did it. But it also encourages people to do something it's really not, the game wasn't created to run multiple. So the thing we've learned about the game, and this is that someone will find a way to get around something, and as such, they'll use it. And when they start using it, it becomes an unfair advantage for that player that other players may or may not be privy to. And that's what we're trying to limit. We're trying to put everybody that runs in the game on an equal playing field, as equal as possible.
Exactly. And the breeding limits or restrictions, I guess, kind of help with that. They do help with that, and they help with a lot of different things. The restrictions do. Mm-hmm. They actually prevented us from going way up in cost on data storage, which you guys. Again, you guys may not be aware of that, but we are a rather large game for the population for the population of player that we have. And
it's because we keep so much information on horses, and a lot of the horse information we keep. We're keeping information from 20 some years ago. Ultimately, I would love to throw some of that information just to kind of nerd out for 30 seconds. Love to throw it in blob storage, make it more accessible. That would alleviate some of our storage issue. But the one thing it would not alleviate, storage is part of it, but also part of it is going to be the when you query against the database and when we have to run our extracts, we are limited to the power of the machine we're running, which is a 16 gig box. If I double that, it's going to double the cost of the box, which becomes every time, I had to take it up from 8 to 16 within the last year and a half. Wasn't fun. But if I take it up to 32, which is the next step, it becomes literally 4 times more for infrastructure than I was paying just 3 years ago. And my theory is you guys would rather me limit breeding here and there than start being like, hey, I'm going to have to limit breeding to only people that pay because, or you're going to, the people that don't pay only get like X amount of breeding, like 5 or 10, a week or something, because I can't afford to go up to 32 gig on a machine. It's just, I think it's like, that puts us well over $1,000. That puts us in like the $1,400 range a month, and we just can't afford it.
Yeah. Yep. So there are your reasons. We won't talk your head off with the the nerdy logistics of it all.
Nerdy talk.
Wrathbeard says, do you want stud fees added to the forum post or just the wiki? You can go ahead and add them to the forum too, Wrathbeard, because I got to overwrite it anyway when I enter it in. So
yeah, if we're putting it, if we're going in, I mean, the good news is when we add a new sire, whoever adds it, usually Frank, whoever's adding it is adding the location as well, and literally the cost is right under the location, so it's not that big an ad. So yeah, if you got it, let us know. It does help us rate them quickly, and it's just more information. It also helps us like when a sire trends. If a sire is getting more expensive over time, it allows us to quickly say, hey, you know what? There's a reason that this is happening, most likely.
Yeah, and I mean at this point in the extract at least for the new sires, or if you're whatever. It's super, super important that we get a location.
Yes.
Because without a location, we can't enter the sire into the game.
No.
So just keep that in mind when you're adding them to the wiki or what have you. So we got Smitty says, with the new infrastructure, will there be a way to download all the sires in the game with their BP costs?
You know what? Maybe. I'm going to have to look into that. I'm not against, and I want to, I'm not against giving all the sires in the game away. There was a time when I used to hold that near and dear to my heart because I had this. I'll say this: when I was young and bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, I used to think, there's going to be a lot of people that want to run in simulated horse racing games. And I have to keep all this information as private as possible because they're going to take my information and run a simulated horse racing game and compete with me. I don't care. Run a simulated horse racing game with the information out there in the sire information file. This is the way I feel about myself, and I'm not against giving you guys more information than I used to. Is what it comes down to. So I'm actually making fun of myself for being bright-eyed and stupid, not making fun of it again. But I'm not against giving you all that information. Now, the problem is, of course, BP costs change literally minute to minute. So that is, theoretically, could I have a updated every hour API or something that gives, from an hour ago? Maybe. I mean, and that's the kind of stuff that, and Frank can attest to this. Anybody that's coded is that when the infrastructure is bad, making small changes is difficult. When infrastructure is good, making notable changes becomes much easier. We are writing, kind of getting this all out of the old infrastructure, and the guts of the game are getting better and better all the time. To that, I don't see why we couldn't give you guys easy access to that sire information and usable access at least daily, like in an extract, if we had to. But maybe even something like I've been threatening, maybe even APIs.
Yeah, I mean, even it could even just be a file drop or even a value that we include on the screen where it's average cost over the last month or average buy over the last month or something like that, or last 2 months or whatever.
And this is where, like, the blob storage, again, from a perspective, again, not to nerd out, blob storage is notably cheap. That's a file we could update ever so often. I think the extracts that I think Denuvo uses and a few other players use, they are currently in blob storage.
Yep.
We could do something really similar with Sire, and if we updated that even hourly or something with the new Sire update, we could update it. One thing we'd probably do is, instead of flat files, we'd probably put it in a JSON file, and then you could just grab the extract and.
The other thing is too, and this is actually something that we already have is just the highs and the lows, right? I mean, we already have what the highs and the lows are. I mean, that would be ultimately a start.
Which one?
We're talking about the cost, right? The floors, the ceilings and floors for BPs.
Oh yeah, we do. We have that would actually. Yeah, I don't see why we couldn't give that away.
Right. So maybe what I'll do after the stream is I'll run a query and shoot that out and throw some extra stuff in there for you guys as far as cost is concerned, and then we'll just kind of go from there.
Yeah,
we'll see what you all think. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, then if something else needs to be added or whatever, then we'll go from there. But
yeah, it's transparency, man. And it's what we want to. We want to give you guys more. And we want to give you guys the ability to do more with the information that we have, and then you can do your own things with it.
I've run into the 10 horse limit in the farm as well, but they can easily move off the farm, but you can easily move them into the farm. Not asking you to fix the mistakes, asking you. No, I mean, I'm just talking about one that's been bred initially, because I think you can actually move a horse that comes into your stable immediately. You can still flip to the blue farm.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't penalize you for it's only if the horse is already raced that you get the penalty. So if a horse comes in and you do this by accident and it shows that it's not on the farm, you can literally click the farm icon. It'll go to the farm, but it'll be the blue farm. It won't be the red farm, and you can do whatever you were going to normally do with it on the blue farm that you would, like when it first comes in or what have you. So
yeah, horses that haven't raced have a lot more flexibility.
Yep, it's once they race where they become pains in the asses. Let's see, we got
like those theoretical children. Theoretical children are easy to discipline.
Indeed. Let's see. Magoo says Sim Cash to BPs will help the Aussie exchange rate.
I bet it would.
I mean, the only downside with that is Sim Cash is also tied to entries, right? So if you don't have enough cash in a stable, you have a stakes running horse. This is actually a problem for a few different players, but you have a stakes running horse. If you don't have the cash to get them into the race, they're not eligible to get in. I think that's how it works, right?
I don't know. It's been a while, but I do know this, and this is the thing you have to be careful about with when we start. The whole reason that BPs became a thing, and this is why we had BPs from the start instead of using only Sim Cash, was that Sim Cash encourages, or I won't say encourages, but if a player has one good horse and he gets Sim Cash, of course, now he can turn that and use that Sim Cash to get more good horses, and then it becomes this. If you weren't fortunate enough to get a decent horse out the chute, you're in a hole. And you almost have to have a good earner or several good earners, and then you're going to see somebody like, the Lennies and the Dans and the people that have a lot of good horses that have been around and they have a good mare stock. They're always going to have a lot of horses that perform well because they've historically been in the game 20 years, which helps them a lot. But they're going to earn a lot of money. And you know what? It won't just be the Aussies turning Sim dollars into BPs. I promise you that. And then once we start doing that, then you're going to start saying, oh, my goodness, the BP for the average horse has gone up 37% this year. Why? Then I'd be like, well, you turned a bunch of. So, yeah, I mean, turning things into BPs in theory sounds like a victory for the end user. In practice, it causes huge inflation.
Yep. It sure does, and you guys will start noticing that. I mean, you've already seen it with the buys on obviously the top six: Tapit, Flightline, Dubawi, Frankel, Into Mischief, Curlin. And
Sim Cash to regular credits, I don't know. I mean, that's a possibility. I didn't think about that. But,
Sim Cash to regular credits could be an option.
Theoretical, yeah. I mean, but again,
I don't know what the rate of it would all be, but
well, again, I think the thing is and really, I guess technically, it's it would cause a bit of inflation too because people would turn a lot of Sim Cash into a lot of credits, which especially would drive a lot of horses. And every time a horse pops in credits, the credit goes up. So you'd see a lot more purchases on credits, and you'd see horses inflate. You may not see the top level horses inflate because they are already kind of locked in at the at the breeding where they have, a giveaway or, a draw every week. But the mid-level horses, you'd see them pop.
Yeah. We got, where was it? Esremel says, can we get some name recycling? Like I get never allowing graded winner names recycled, but if there's a 20-year-old 5K male claimer who has a name I want, it hurts.
I'm kind of on like both sides of the fence here. I'm going to play both sides of the fence. I get that in a way, and there's probably going to be a bit of this organically, whether I want there to be or not, because ultimately, like I said, some of this again nerd out infrastructure. If I start moving old horses into a blob storage, they're no longer going to be in queries. The queries is what we decide if a horse name's been used. So there might be some natural kind of movement availability of horses. But the other side of me goes, you know what? You guys are creative. Use your creativity. There are literally an infinite number of horse race names that have been used. Yeah, have some fun with it.
All right.
But, yeah. I do understand I've put in a number of horse names recently and been like, who the hell named the horse that?
So something told me this question was coming tonight.
Yeah.
But any status about the Equinix?
Maybe. We'll have to see. Again, the good news is residencies are under control for a moment. As far as the Equinix goes, we would love to put something new in place. It's really going to decide, particularly some of the other stuff we have planned. We want to get the residencies done, or at least updated. We're not sure what we're going to do. We may, depending on how the residencies work out, we may just leave the residencies the way they are. Do something similar to the Equinix in the past, but as far as what that is, it would be changed a little bit. There's a better way to, you guys having to go through and enter a bunch of passwords and things, but I'll have to figure that out. As far as just keep on running your residency like you do. Keep trying to get the best residents you can. As far as the Equinix goes. If I would say this, if we ran it like we've done in the past, which I'm trying to avoid because I think there's a better way for this to be done. I'd love to take some time and think about it, but it's not easy. We've got to change this in the future. I think this was an unsustainable model from the first time I put it in the game in 2000. It's 24 years later, still an unsustainable model. It's a pain in the ass for everybody involved. The players love it. And I get that you love it, and it's fun, but there's a better way to make it where we don't bring 279 new grade 1s into the game every 2 years. It's not realistic. It dilutes what's going on around in the game. But we have to come up with a better methodology. I would say as far as unless hopefully something. Hopefully we'll run it this year if everything holds together. If not, you know what? Things get pushed a year. I mean, I know that the Equinix is a huge deal, and I want to keep it to some way, shape, or form. But we really have to come together as a community and think of a better way to, it's a lot of whoever's running it. It's a pain in the ass for them. Well, let me rephrase it. Pain in the ass is the wrong word. It's a huge lift for them.
It's a challenge.
It's a challenge, and they do what they can. But then there's always, in the past, at least now, we've cut down the residencies to the ones we think are pretty active. But, in the past, we've had to make some hard cuts on residencies. Is this residency active enough? And it becomes a match with that. And, when everything gets entered and everything gets settled, the smoke settles, it's a great time. But we have to come up with a better way to get horses into the Equinix. And we have to do a better job with a realistic approach on, do we need this many grade races that are especially restricted races at the end of the day and not representative of the best horses in the game running in those races necessarily?
Yeah, I think the other argument to this is, and it's not a very popular one, is that it kind of gives folks in the residency more opportunity to run in these big graded races, whereas the single player or the other player who doesn't have any part in residencies or what have you doesn't necessarily get the same opportunity to do it. Right now, I know the easy answer to this is, well, join a residency. Well, what if you don't want to? Right? Yeah. What if you just want to play the game? Yeah. Again, and it becomes a question of, well, are we giving unfair advantages and things of that nature? And stuff like that. Questions like that have come up from players who are not in residencies, which is why we bring it up.
I've received a couple of players in the past that were like, one player was asking, and this has been a couple of years ago. And they're like, I'd like to be in the Equinix. What do I need to do? And I was like, go join a residency. And the response was not positive. We'll just say that they were a private player, and they let me know they respect the privacy, and as much as they're like, that's just not something I want to get involved in.
Yeah, and it's a fine line. It's a balance. It is. It's really trying to figure out what it's trying to basically how do we keep the residencies happy, and how do we keep the single player happy?
Yeah, and the other thing is too, and we've seen this too. I mean, I remember even 2 years ago. Or was it only 2 years ago I did this? But I started limiting when you could move residencies. There were players shuffling around in residencies because they're like, oh, this spot in this race is already full, and then they're like, well, can I go over here to this residency? As the Philly stayer, and and then it becomes this whole shuffling match of. And then is that fair to the person that was in the residency the whole time? And now they, we get all the emails, trust me.
Yeah.
We get all the emails.
We got some good ones this week too, so.
Yeah, we get all the emails. So yeah, like I said, when I bring stuff up like this, I think that some people, I'm not bringing this up to like poo on anybody's party platter. It just comes down to, everybody has a belief in the way they like to see the game run, and they like the game, but Even if that's 80% reflective, there still may be some people that, and that's kind of where if we start restricting races, especially grade 1 races, it's not as popular to the universal player base as everybody thinks.
And we're also operating under the fairness kind of methodology here.
Fairness doctrine.
Forward. Yeah, exactly. So it kind of bites us in the ass a little bit if we're not being completely fair across the board. But we'll figure it out. We'll come to terms with it. We'll talk to the player base and we'll figure out what's going to be best for everybody. So.
And I think that's actually now we've done I won't say we've done a great job, but we've done at least a well enough job of knowing who the big residencies are. We'll reach out to those residencies, find out what they think. That'll be helpful. But, we also have to reach out to, players that aren't in residencies and see, do we, again, and I'm not, don't take this home. Don't write this on your calendar and go, Mike said this. Mike's just spitballing here, and I'm not even drunk. But yeah, I mean, is there an opportunity for like a wild card that's like, if you're not a resident of any residency, do you run in the wild card position and allow people that aren't, are the grade 1 races still too, the thing is, and we know this about the grade races, but they are, they're big for Hall of Fame. They're big for Horse of the Year. Do we change them to strictly stakes races and give out more points for the races? I don't know. Make the race more valuable to the end user other than just the horse in general and how the horse is dictated in the future of the game. I don't know. I'd love to give you an answer to all this. Again, everything we say, not everything we say. Sometimes we come on the stream and know exactly what we're going to say. Tonight, it was a question. I'm answering it as openly and honestly as I can, which means I don't fucking know what I'm talking about.
We're going to focus group the shit out of this is probably what's going to end up happening. So, but
this is not the last of what we're This is not where, we're just kind of spitballing
here. We don't come to decisions easy on stuff that's been like a staple in the game for long periods of time. So,
and it's been in the game for 20 years, and there's a reason why it's still 24, I guess now. There's a reason why it's been in the game this long. It's popular. I've realized it's popular, but it's not easy to pull off, and at the end of the day, like I said, there are plenty of unhappy people during Equinix time.
All right, so here we go. We're gonna move to the next question again. Here we go. Laudro with one of his many says
one of many.
Can you pull up Candy Ride and use that as an example? First, the DR badge in the top right. Is that just tied to the statistics below? If so, is it drawn from the sire stats? So since Candy Ride had 69% dirt earnings, it's D, and since 62% is earned on the routes, it's an R.
I mean, pretty much. I think that's exactly it. Yeah. I know what you're talking about with the D's and the R's. It's like a 50-50.
I wish I was on admin right now. I could show them. It's somewhere in here.
Oh yeah, we've got the big SQL statement that just when you run it on the admin, or I think it's eTest case, I don't know, but what up, it'll print the entire SQL statement, and it literally is. It's just a 50-50. It looks at as far as how it goes dirt and sprint long, I don't remember what the split is in there, but it's definitely like a
somewhere in here, guys.
Yeah, it literally is just like how they've done average wise. So that has very similar to like with the cards, like when we have an A card or a B card. None of that is really tied directly. I mean, it's highly correlated, but it's not tied directly to the quality of the sire. It is game performance. So when you see those D's and R's and S's and that in the dirt, sprint, route, turf, that is all tied to game performance.
Yep. So, that and player behavior too, right? In the sense of like with buys and things of that nature. So
I mean, if you keep running a horse, even and we've seen this,
we've talked about this at length. Next question or statement, I guess, is Esremel says also for sire BP costs, it would be great to know what their floor is. I can look at a stallion who is sitting at 180, and I don't know if he will go lower. I did that on a few stallions during the sire sale, and it was such a waste of time. I mean, again, I'll come up with something after the stream tonight. It should be quick, but and I'll put it up. So
and I'd love to give this stuff out to you all regularly. Again, there's nothing proprietary about this. I mean, it's we set the game the way it is, and it's just what it is, and especially with stuff like, sire cost in the game. Again, that is tied to performance in the game and historically how a sire's offspring have done in the game. So even the best sires in the game, Equinix, for instance, probably the best first year sire. I'm not going to spoil anybody's chicken, which I bought spoiled chicken the other day. It's disgusting. It's like one of the worst. Nothing worse than buying a thing of chicken thighs. I love eating chicken thighs. I opened them up and it smelled like a butthole. I was like, I'm not eating this. So anyway, we had to take those back. I got me some new chicken thighs. I'm going to eat in there. But not to spoil anybody's chicken thighs. Are you all right over there?
Yeah, not the description I thought you were going to give for chicken thighs or spoiled chicken thighs.
Well, so anyway, Equinix in the game, his floor right now is 10. Will he ever reach that? Highly unlikely, but It's 10. Once he starts performing, once his offspring, he'll go up to 11, 12, 13, and he'll go up. And that's why, and we've mentioned this in the past, and there might be a better way, but maybe not. In a way, it's kind of like, in a way, it's been kind of nice. It actually kind of works itself out as sires or his offspring in the game perform well, that floor goes up. And that kind of like, in a way, naturally removes or starts pricing out mid-level sires from people wanting to use them a lot because they start getting too expensive on the floor versus a better mid-level sire that's a newer sire. So almost like, the more that they perform well in the game, the higher they're going to go up. And even just over time, if you have a mid-level sire who's been in the game 10 or 15 years, he's going to go up just because he's going to naturally have some winners. And those new mid-level sires would be lower. So, the game kind of, I won't say forces you, but inspires you to go for those new sires, which is kind of real life. You don't, so yeah.
Also, Smithy said something that the trouble with that is that it lets us all know where they're rated. It actually does not.
No. What it does, like I said, that's the nice thing about the floor and the ceiling is it doesn't really tell you anything except the ceiling will tell you how many times it's been bred in the last year. So it would tell you popularity of a sire, and only the top sires would be up in that over 700 range. So you're going to see anybody over, I think it's 700, right? It's 800 or 700? 700, right?
7.
Yeah, so I was 800, then I dropped it because I love you guys. I even took it out of 7. So, but it lets you know who's breeding, which sires are being bred to the most, which will obviously tell you probably the best sires in the game, but you already knew that anyway, because all you had to do is look for the red nose all over the place when you're looking for sires to breed to. But the floor, again, just to reiterate, it tells you nothing. Equinix is listed as a 10 today. If nobody bred to Equinix, if everybody said, fuck Equinix, I don't want to breed that horse. Everybody in the game made a conscious decision not to breed to him. Within a week or two, he's down to 10. He is, like I said, we won't chocolate chicken thighs again, what they smell like. But he is probably the best rated first year sire in the game. And he would be a 10. So it really doesn't tell you whether he's any good or not.
Yeah. It's literally just a number, and it adapts and changes based on what the player base does. So
yeah. And it will always go up, and it will never go down, even if like we said, it always goes up. And again, just to kind of
performance based too.
Performance of the horses that the horse bred in the game. So the more they win, the more that number goes up, and it will never come back down.
So Laudro has another question. He says, also seems to me that the sprint earnings would skew the stats because all 2-year-olds will run in sprints until 8 furlongs. Races are permitted. So there's no way for a sire to accumulate route earnings until the fall. Yeah, I mean, that's
100% right.
That's kind of how it works in real life.
Yeah, in real horse racing. Look at the average winning distance of some of those first year and second year sires. They suck.
Yeah. Blue Farm is still prevented by 10 horse limit.
Maybe.
Possibly. I don't know. I usually never get that far, but like I said, I have never had the issue where I couldn't flip a horse that came in as active to Blue Farm.
Yeah, it's possible. So. Again, the farm stuff didn't really perform as I intended it to anyway. And I'd love to give that whole thing a rewrite. But, this goes, again, not to keep beating this dead horse. Stuff in particularly the old website, I've got to put a nail in it. I've got to put a stake in it. Because if I keep messing with the old website, I'll never get the infrastructure done, which means we're always going to keep fighting with, we're going to have to live with probably some growing pains until we get a new version of the website written. We're not going to get a new version of the website written until we get the infrastructure written. So it's kind of a double-edged sword there. Yeah, there's going to be issues that are going to pop like that, unfortunately. But when we get the new website, when we get a new idea, we'll make sure and get all the stuff shaken out in the rewrite.
All right. Sabbath says, the information in the wiki, it's hard to unlocate a sire that has been shuttled. Would it be possible to have the option of enter not active or no country in the shuttle information? Now you have to choose a country. Oh, I see what you're saying. I thought there was an option to remove it. I think it's just a blank space, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. It's not very obvious. I'll say that, but it's. Let me look right now.
Yeah, I'll do the same.
Google's not acting right, so you'll probably get there before I will.
All right, let me see. I'm just
Well, you do that.
I'm gonna have to log. Yeah, you talk and I'll log in as test case. Test case. It's funny. Test case is probably one of our strongest stables.
I got it. There we go.
Okay, you got it.
Yeah,
got him.
Let's see. Alert, sire info. Actually, you cannot.
What's up? Let me check.
On the shuttle, you might be able to. No, you definitely can't. Once something's in
which
there.
horse you looking at?
I'm looking at Into Mischief. But once, he doesn't have a shuttle, but once something's in there, it's in there.
I'd have to check. I believe you. I have no reason not to.
Interesting. Unless there's an unknown button here that I'm just not seeing.
Let me see.
No.
Mischief. Okay, let me look. Okay, so fixed problem.
Remember, fixed problem is limited to certain users.
Oh, that's right. Oh, you're talking the wiki.
Right.
Yeah, sorry. That wiki. Yeah. I wrote that like in a fever. It's that thing needs a lot of work. And we will probably, I won't say we're going to do away with that entire wiki, but that's something that'll get rewritten. We'll make sure that gets fixed in the long term. I mean, this is we're
in it for the long con, guys. It's one of those things where it works right now. It does what we need it to do at the moment. It's a little bit painful on both sides, but we plan on revisiting a lot of this stuff and basically simplifying the shit out of it. So,
simplifying it to but the wiki that you see with like when you're adding information to the horse, there's too much information in there to add. There's just like primary farm content, artificial, shuttle breed. Yeah, there's a lot of information in here that it's. We don't need all that. There's better ways to do it. Ultimately, what I'd like to do is I'd almost like to make I would like to take the wiki down to enter in horses, update sire info for yourself or for the game, and then have kind of what the game says. It's like right now, for instance, not everyone can update information like Frank and I can, but we would love to give you the same drop-down box that at least like alerts us that, hey, somebody recommended this change. And then we literally just like to, oh, that's right. And then hit a checkbox instead of having to look at one set of information, which is what you're putting in your side of the wiki versus the other. You know what? I'm going to share a screen, Frank. Can I share? No, you share a screen. I do this.
You can share a screen, I think.
No, I'll show you. I'm going to let you share the screen since you're the one on Twitch. Log into the test case and go into Mischief.
Okay.
In the wiki, and I'll show you what Frank and I see versus you. Okay, just to kind of give you an idea of how we enter this information. You guys enter in a bunch of information in the wiki, and we use that to rate. But we also have kind of a secondary table that's kind of like the law of the land, so to speak. And some of you guys probably have access to this. Not all of you. And that was just early on, and I could update some information. I think CV Bear might have some access. Probably ought to give Rob full access is what I ought to do.
Let me zoom in a bit because that's not really going to be very readable on stream.
Yeah.
There you go. So click on Into Mischief. So you guys, most of y'all, when we click on this, you guys see this alert problem update attributes. There's this here, this fixed problem. This is the submissions that you guys drop in. and that'll take you here to the sire mare info where you're basically making all your changes. But this one allows us to actually override things and put things into play.
Pretty much into the game.
Right. It goes so from here it goes straight into the game, but from here, kind of.
We have to actually update the extract, but into the game.
Right, but from here, these basically go into a table that are suggestions that we then pull from, and then write all kinds of BS code on the back end, and get it rolling. But that's ultimately what we're trying to kind of work against, to where it's just like hey, somebody said this, maybe we should check a box and flip it over, as opposed to having to go through all those hoops.
Absolutely. So and ultimately it's a UX improvement for you. It's a ease of improvement for us. And I'd love to make all the information you guys put in, like sire standing years and things like that. I mean, hell, that's not private information. I'm not trying to hoard that information. I mean, I would love to give you guys that information, and then you can see what I have in the game. You go, oh my goodness, you know what? Mike's got this wrong. Frank put this in wrong. Mike fucked up and listed a mayor as a fucking sire again because he's an idiot. And then you could actually just flag it in real time. Or this horse died 17 years ago because Mike's still living in the past because he's a 70s baby. Stuff like that. But make it where you guys could literally, instead of giving us, the wiki is great for us, but it could be better. And it can be better for you, better for us.
It's it's not. I mean, I know I just kind of shit on it a little bit, but it's not terrible. It's not. It definitely does.
Useful.
It serves its purpose. I'll put it that way.
It's useful. So the shit you guys put in there, absolutely used. Frank used. I can promise you
all of it. Literally all of it this year.
So and we appreciate it. We appreciate you, especially adding horses to the wiki.
Yep.
We appreciate any information you give in the wiki pedigree, even though we know it's not perfect. We just want to make it better for us, better for you.
Yeah, and to give you guys all another pat on the back here, I didn't actually have to remove anybody. Everybody passed with flying colors as far as grades were concerned, so nobody got removed. And pretty much if you submit a request or a submission, rather, it got picked up. So, that's pretty much the pat on the back today for the player base.
Yeah, you guys, I mean,
you guys really kicked ass.
I mean, we've said this, I think, last stream or two streams ago. I mean, I know we said at the beginning of this one, I think we added over 630. We may have added up to 680, 700 horses this year. There's no way we could have done that and update the other horse. I mean, this was our biggest, most complete update ever. And, just the last update, I think Frank updated 60 horses.
Yeah, it was 60 plus.
The information in the game is better now than it's ever been, and it's getting better, and that's a huge testament to Frank and all the work he puts in, but it's also a huge testament to the player base who's giving us the information and updating the information and letting us know when we fuck stuff up. So thank you guys a whole bunch for that.
We got Crater has said, for the new sim, will you be able to record creation info as part of the horse card, example card type that created the horse, or points or credit totals?
Yeah,
I mean, I don't see why not. Yeah,
I mean we actually have the credit totals now. I'm curious. I would pull up the SQL database, and I'm going to pull up SQL database on my end. I know that we do have point totals. And you can tell we keep point totals and credit totals, because if you look at your finance history for a stable, you'll see, hey, this horse costs this much. So all that information is kept. The card information, I don't know. I do know that we have.
They are. It doesn't have a cost associated with it. It's a zero.
Okay.
It's a zero value.
Okay. So I mean, we know if somebody used a card or not for a horse.
Yeah, we don't know what the card was.
Yeah, we might.
Well, you would know better than me, but I haven't seen it if it exists.
I'm going to look real quick. I mean, this goes to tell we probably won't add it until the rewrite, but we do keep a lot of information that we don't publish, because when somebody has a question and I have to go in and dig around, okay, now here's one 300056120. Just ignore me. Talk, Frank. Just act like I'm
all right. So if you guys haven't already, the link is the link for attendance is pinned in the chat. Make sure you click the link, fill out the form. So when we get ready to spin the wheel here, because I have a feeling it's coming soon, we will go ahead and do that, and you'll be on the wheel to win prizes. I think we got 3 art collector shares today that we're going to give away. Plus, we'll spin the wheel for other shares and have all kinds of other stuff as per usual. So
as per the usual.
Indeed.
Okay.
Let's see. Reinstate the individual horse assigned password for restricted races if possible.
Yep, I'd love to do. Yeah, that'll come with the rewrite. Yeah, that's something that we know we want to do and we need to do. We just haven't done it. So yeah, that'll happen.
Why make it difficult for residencies to get into the Equinix? It makes it difficult. It makes it more difficult to recruit if people know that joining a res might be a waste of their time. I don't really follow what that's with respect to.
Yeah, I think they're saying like, well, first off, people should join a residency because you run a good residency.
Right.
That should be number one. If they're joining a residency for any other reason, if you're joining a residency simply to get in the Equinix, you're joining a residency for all the wrong reasons. You guys do a great job running residencies, and I promise you there are a lot of residencies out here who do a hell of a job. And Equinix or not, people are going to join them because the managers are giving and the managers are accepting. And the residencies, I give them a lot of credits, but the reason I give them credits is because they almost every one of them to a person uses those credits, gives it straight back to the player base, and encourages players to play in the game and enjoy the game. And the residency is a huge part of the game. I don't think that if anyone's joining a residency I would say this, in a way, having a wild card or something where somebody could join the Equinix without joining a residency is a better use of residency because A, you don't have somebody coming into a residency that doesn't want to be there, joining simply to get a slot and stealing it from a residency member.
Right.
But in a way, my argument. Yeah.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Say what you're going to say.
No, I was just going to say my argument would be is that, the residencies, the whole point of the Equinix is residency versus residency. Jumping around residencies, that's what I was saying. Like I'd seen in the past where somebody, residencies somebody would try to Wington's last day. Can I change a residency? You shouldn't probably be changing residencies. That's not the goal. I mean, support your residency until you don't want to be with that resident manager. Let me rephrase that. Not don't want to be with that resident manager, but maybe you find a residency that fits your stable's personality, your personality a little more. If you're kind of hopping residency to scheme into the Equinix, I mean, the whole point of the Equinix is residency versus residency, and it should be as fair and it should be a residency versus residency contest, and maybe the wild card keeps people from playing that gimmick.
Yeah. And again, we'll figure it out, guys. So like when we get ready to that point, and we start discussing residencies and Equinix specifically, we're going to focus group it. We're going to have some of the residencies, like we said earlier. We'll have the residency owners in there with us for the big ones that participate, and we'll go from there.
We'll have a big Zoom chat with as many residency owners that want to, and I'm sure if you have concerns about a residency and how the Equinix are going to work, I promise you they'll have 7. So for every one that the player has, the residency managers are usually playing like 3D chess with this stuff. They know what they're talking about. You know what you're talking about too, I'm sure. But the residency managers, they're dealing with the, every bit of the information, the blowback they're going to receive about any decision we make. So they're gonna make sure that we get this right. And I have nothing but faith in that team that we've got.
Yeah. So Taffy says, I found that Equinix gives smaller players a chance to be in a big grade 1 they wouldn't get in normally. I don't disagree with that at all. I mean, but again,
if you're in a small enough residency,
yeah, and again, it's not to play the other side of it, but there's some residencies that don't operate that way, right? They want to win the Equinix, so they always take the best of the best of the best. They're not like spreading it out or spreading the slots out, so to speak.
Yeah. And that's their prerogative.
Exactly, and that goes back to Mike saying, pick your residencies wisely. I guess, right?
you pick your residency that is, and I don't have a problem with any of the residency managers. That's the cool thing about pretty much all the residency managers that I'm aware of. I mean, you guys probably know better than I do, but at least the ones that I talk to on the regular from a residency standpoint, all of them run very above ship, above board operations. And if a residency member, and this is, part of the reason why we push it down to the residency manager, if a residency member doesn't like the way that a residency is being run, talk to your residency manager and say, I don't like that about this. And if they go, hey, this is the way it's run, change residencies if you don't like it. I mean, but there's already right. Don't, it really is. But yeah, I agree. It does give some players that would never have a chance to run in a grade one that opportunity, especially if you some of these bigger residencies, don't get me wrong. I mean, Skippy has 1 billion people in his residency, and a lot of those guys, they're really good. So it'd be hard to kind of crack through there. But there's some smaller residencies that you're welcome to join, and it's join for the residency and join for the residency manager and what they offer you. But I mean, if part of that is hey, you can get in the Equinix with the smaller horse. I mean, more power to them.
And Hack says Equinix could be fantastic even with the grade 2 races, and I don't disagree with that. I mean, Equinix could probably be amazing even like with allowance races if it came with like a special badge or something. Along those
special
lines.
They love the badges. Right. Special badge, a big bunch of credits, give big bunch of extra points. I mean, there's
like lots of ways to go about it. It's just figuring out what the best way is and what the most fair way is across the board for the entire game.
And actually, something like that. If we took them down to a grade 2, grade 3, or some other form and padded it in another direction, then it's not what it is now, which can give people an advantage to get Horse of the Year, can give people an advantage to get in the Hall of Fame, versus hey, you know what? It gives maybe that's. Maybe that's where people that are on the outside that aren't into residencies, maybe they go, you know what, I don't really care anymore because I'm not being cheated out of my typical experience of not being in a residency. They do have a concern that they're not getting grade 1 races that they feel like they would be competitive in.
So, Metallinut says, why does this come up now after 20 years? I don't think it came up just
It comes up every 2 years. Trust me.
I was just going to say
this. Trust me. Yep. It comes up every 2 years. And sometimes in between those 2 years, I deal more with answering Equinix questions. And I've kept a lot of this from players because there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the background. And I know you've been very helpful, Metallinut. I totally appreciate the work you do. But, even before, I mean, talking with Mano, he had to deal with a whole bunch of shit. I've had to deal with shit. It's, and it's not shit's the wrong word. When I say shit, that's just me because I've got a potty mouth. I have to deal with a lot of concerns. Okay. And I try to play as fair as possible. But it's come up after 20 years because you know what? The game's 20 years old. Stuff changes, and we're trying to make it as fair. And we're trying to look at 20 years of learning and not go, hey, you know what? It's been like this for 20 years. Let's keep it like this another 2. Yeah. We want to put all the options on the table. We want the best experience for as many players in the game as possible. Indeed. And grade 1 races, it's cool. I mean, everybody wants a grade 1, but we give residencies, potentially more than that. Maybe they want that more, and that's where we'll have. I know you run a big residency, and we have a lot of big residency owners. Again, everything I say today, just remember this. Everything Frank and I are saying today is not set in stone.
No.
Everything we're saying today, we're asked questions. This is a spitballing session. That's what we do, streaming. If we come out here, if we wouldn't turn on this chat if this was us telling you what was going on. We would just sit here and announce it and turn it off. We're just kind of having a back and forth discussion. 90% of what we say is probably going to be bullshit at the end of what happens with Equinix. We have no idea. But we want to have that, we do want the discourse. And that's why it's opening up. We want to open up.
And a lot of you guys
comes up all the time.
Right. And a lot of you guys come with some good ideas too, right? Stuff that neither one of us would have thought of. So
absolutely.
And if there's a way for us to implement something cool and new to the Equinix, I mean, we're 100% on board for doing that, right?
Yes.
Because ultimately we want to make, not saying it's a pain point because it's not, but there's a lot of, like Mike said, there's a lot of work that goes into it. It just takes time. So if there's a way that we can make that easier, or if we change like the structure of something, or what have you, just to make it easier for us or for the whoever runs it, and we make the entering a certain kind of way, or people eligible, whatever it is. That's ultimately the goal and the concept of trying to make it better.
At the end of the day, we want to improve the average experience for everybody in aggregate. There are going to be some people, I'm sure, whatever experience we have, somebody's not going to like the experience, the new experience versus the old experience. But If the average satisfaction rate is a 7, and we can get that in a 7 out of 10 for the Equinix, and we can get that up to a 7.3, that's a net positive for the game.
Yeah. Next question comes from Laudro. It says, next question with Candy Ride. Interesting that looking at his sire and Damn Sire stats, Candy Ride as a DS gets a lot more sprinters than as a sire. Is that intended in the code, or is it a product of just how he has been bred in the game?
In the game.
It's how he's been bred and how players use him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A lot of players choose, at least by the sounds of it, it sounds like a lot of players don't route with him as a DS. I mean, it's possible they could.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just possible he hasn't gotten the breeding for it.
I also wouldn't be surprised. I won't promise you this. But like you said, the average horse in the game is going to sprint. You're going to see more sprinters in the game than you are routers.
The average would be milers.
Yeah. Okay. Milers.
Yeah.
But the thing is in that regard is that you end up with a lot of horses are going to. I mean, and here's a great example. And I think Laudro was the one that pointed this out earlier. 2-year-olds. Okay. Let's say that Candy Ride, for instance, somebody's racing and they retire a horse at 3 because they weren't having a lot of success with it. It never really got to run long races in the first place. So, you're always going to see, as a Damn Sire, he doesn't get that capability to, if he's being bred, and I'm sure he is versus like the Tappets and things, he probably hasn't historically gotten the backing that some of those long routers that people, or long routers, but routers that other people know, are more of a sure thing. So, yeah, he's probably a victim of breeding choice.
Yeah, I would 100% agree with that. Candy Ride Candy Ride is not rated bad in the game at all. Actually, I think, if I'm not mistaken, he even got a little bump this year. So, yeah. Go out and buy him. But yeah,
and then in the game, I bet you he's an A card.
Oh, 100%. There's no way he's not.
So yeah, I mean, even though he's not considered,
and if
even in the game, he does well.
I know he's one of the more. You can get him on the cheaper side on BPs as well. So like I know he drops down to like that 500 BP level pretty frequently. So yeah, if you're getting him at 500 BPs, that's a steal in my opinion. So we said, let's see, Beer Keg said just make them restricted stakes. I'm guessing this is with the Equinix. Only 100K limited stake points for future races, but give them a special badge. Yeah, again, not a bad idea. But like you said, we're gonna take it back and figure it all out.
Yeah, special badges, of course. I love that idea. I mean, Brian, Padre is gonna love that. He has a whole slew of cool new badges and a whole slew of new cool horse pictures coming. I'm gonna try to hold those off for the new game, but I hate holding them off for the new game because you got I want you guys to see his handiwork. But yeah, new badge would be cool. I'm not against giving away points and credits, special points and credit. I do. I think again, not to beat the Equinix to death, but it feels like it's already a corpse that we've been lashing repeatedly here. But I want the players to feel like they want to be running in it. Obviously not just for residency pride, but to get something. Right now, grade 1 is nice, but at the end of the day, a lot of those horses that are in it, they could be running in grade 1s anyway. Maybe given the credits, given extra points, lowering it to, restricted stakes, or, that may be, I won't say extreme, but, making it a grade 3 or grade 2. So it still pops up and, literally clearing out the entire week of all the grade 1s that week, moving all the grade 1s. So even if it's a grade 2, it's still, the toast of the sim, and nobody's going to be like, well, I'd rather race in this grade 1 this week.
Yeah. Laudro is continuing on with the Candy Ride question, said in 2023, Candy Ride did really poorly. Is that also a product of breeding or a huge drop? This ties back to a question asked in another video where we were wondering if sires just faded on their own.
Sires don't fade on their own. So, yeah, that's just, it's going to be a usage change. And also, the other thing to remember about, if he's listed at 2023, and this is where the way that the game lists sire performance is a little different than you're probably used to, and it's this way, so you can kind of tell. You can tell a little more because if it's not how many horses or how much money the horse won that year. So, like if you look at sire performance for a horse in real life, if you look at 2023, it's going to have all the 7-year-olds, 6-year-olds, 5-year-olds, 4-year-olds, 3-year-olds, 2-year-olds all wrapped up, and they're going to say, this is how much this horse won this year. 2023 is only the 2-year-olds. So as those horses mature, they're likely to get better. So he's going to keep moving up.
Yeah, numbers will go up, and so there's also a common theory among a lot of the really good players in the game that Candy Ride matures late. So there's that too. So it's possible that he, the offspring from the 2023 year just hasn't hit its best foot yet.
But yeah, you'll see there's probably even some horses that are going to get bred as 3-year-olds that haven't hit the game yet for Candy Ride. And again, if he's maturing late, if he's showing a router, then it's going to tell you he hasn't even hit his best distances yet in the game. So yeah, he'll improve. He should go up from his current number.
Yeah. So we got.
And he may have just had a bad year too. I mean,
that's also possible. Again, there are elements of randomness in it. So Beer Keg said, let residency members have their trophy, but without impacting EOI and HOF.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's kind of what I agree with you there, Keg, and that's kind of what the EOY is the one that concerns me the most because the player base from a Hall of Fame perspective, you've got the opportunities to get in the Hall of Fame. If an extra horse snuck into the Hall of Fame because he won a Equinix race he shouldn't have, I don't think anybody's going to complain about that. They'd probably be like, good for you. End of year horse, on the other hand, if somebody won the end of year because they were able to get in the Equinix and kept a horse out they couldn't, trust me, from emails I've had, that's a major concern for some players.
So I have a funny comment to read, only because I didn't get to it in time. It's blocked in the chat.
Oh no!
But it still shows me. So it says this was from Magoo. It says, Mike, do you smell buttholes often?
Not recently.
And that's in reference to an earlier comment Mike made, just for anybody who just recently joined.
Fair enough, Magoo. Well played, touche. I've got to choose my analogies better.
Jono says he works at the biggest fresh chicken plant in Australia. He manages 80 million rendering plant and 120 million wastewater treatment plant. Come visit for some chicken, bro.
Absolutely not.
Chicken thighs at the watering plant. Sounds great.
Absolutely not. That's not happening.
Let's see. Ladro says, nails in coffins, double-edged swords, beating a dead horse. Mike, are you okay tonight? Mike's feeling violent.
Yeah, you know what? I have no beer, man. It's been a whole week.
Indeed.
You guys wait for 2 more weeks. I'm going to be upset up in here.
Oh, man. Ivan says, hello, everyone. I can't see the chat. We see you. Let's see. Lucky Rabbi. Oh, no, he was just responding to Ivan. Magoo, when you retire he-mares, why do they come up different prices? I just had a G-card horse come up with 1,000 BPs. It depends on what they did on the track.
I don't remember what.
Yeah, I think if stakes winning and up is 200.
Oh yeah,
allowance is 4. If it's a maiden, it's 6, and if it never wins, it's 1,000. I don't know.
It really totally depends on track performance. I do know that. So yeah, the better the horses perform, the cheaper he's going to be to breed, and that was by design. Again, the main reason for he-mares wasn't to, we beat that dead horse with a butthole in another chat. But I think the thing is that the goal of the he-mare wasn't necessarily to replace mares or use as a mare unless you wanted to keep the pedigree of a horse in the game. And my theory on that was you should, those horses like that have performed well in the game and you kind of want them to be able to pass on their lineage. That's why I made them more affordable than the ones that might have a good pedigree but didn't do well because they don't really need to be hanging around in the game. It's kind of a forced obsolescence of those, those bloodlines, I guess, in the game.
Taffy says she'd love to see total BPs earned on each horse's page. Yeah.
I
mean, it could be done.
Yeah, I think we actually had. I don't know. That's actually race by race kept, right? I know it is, but I think it's actually listed in the game.
It is actually. It might be. It might be in stats, Mike.
I'm actually going to look in the game. I think I won't say that. It is. It's been a long time. If I go to a horse, and let me look at my horse. I'm going to let's look at Mia's Real Gold, and then I'm going to go look at his race specific info. It's not perfect, but you can actually see the number of points your horse earned in his race historically. It's not aggregated, but if you look at your individual horse and you look down at the PPs, if you look over to the right of the click here for past performance, and you click the race specific info, you can see how much it's earned in the races that you owned it for.
Yeah, I think, but it's not aggregated for them, though.
It's not aggregated.
I think that's what they're asking is how
I'm sure they
aggregate it and basically have it plastered on the screen. That's, your horse earned a big fat 0, Taffy. No, I'm just kidding. Not Rich Man, which is Craterus, I believe. Regarding creation for the rewrite, a number of people have been naming horses Bloody Blah GGGG or Swab Blah GGGGF as a way to remember how the horse was created. Having card info saved as part of the creation would be cool.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, we're not saying no, right? We're just it's just going to be at the time of the rewrite. So
the card. I think the thing is with the cards, and this, that the cards of all things, I keep the information, but it's not in a fun format. The breeding points, because when I wrote the breeding points, I wrote the credits. That was kind of already actually in the old version of the game. So when I added that to the new version in 2011, and I say new version, it's 12 years old, 13 years old now. When I added that into the game, I had a pretty good idea of how I wanted to store that to be presented. The cards, if you guys remember, I added, I guess it's been probably 9 years ago, just kind of as a fun thing. And the cards took off. They were used a lot differently than I expected them to be. And I don't have a good long-term audit mechanism for them. But with the rewrite, I'll definitely make sure that the audit mechanism exists. So you can actually be able to historically see how which cards you had, etc. Yep. At least to a degree. I mean, and I think that's the trick with the cards is if you guys saw the card file is huge. So it's ginormous.
Yeah. Donnie says, Happy New Year and F you, Frank. Fuck you, Donnie.
Happy New Year, Donnie Baseball.
Donnie.
Where you been, Donnie? Where you been, Donnie? We miss you.
Yeah, we do. Welcome to the chat, Donnie. First chat of the year. First FU of the year. You win. We got Magoo says, what about a tournament where the winners of each res race go to Equinix? Yeah.
That would be up to the residency. I mean, you know what? Ultimately,
residencies could actually do that internally today if they really wanted to.
Yeah, that's up to the residency. So yeah, that's actually a great idea.
That's a really good idea. And again, maybe it's even like a broader thing where like that's how it starts.
Yeah.
It starts with these races and these horses win. They move on to the next set of races and so on and so forth.
And again, it's like, hold your residency manager, to count, ask them if you really want to know, say, they're talking Equinix. How do you plan on, when the Equinix come around, how do you plan on picking the Equinix horses and see what they say, and then find the residency that best fits your needs.
Lucky Rabbi, we have 58 in here for a decent period of time. Is this the most we have ever had?
We have 58? Oh, shit, we're at 59. God bless America. What is going on?
We were at 61 a second ago.
We were? Shit.
Yeah, we're kicking. I told you, man, Sunday Night Football doesn't hold shit on us. And we're not even drunk.
Just imagine how many more people we were have if like the Panthers were playing the
Bucks
or some shit. Hey, at least that had playoff repercussions.
Indeed. It was still a shitty game to watch.
Oh, I bet it was. It was like 9-0.
It was so bad. If I didn't have money on it, I wouldn't have been watching it. I'll put it that way.
Was that your local game?
Yeah, it is my local.
Yes.
But I pay for all of them. So YouTube TV. Yeah, I'm a degenerate like that.
How much does that cost?
If you get the NFL package, I think it was like $300 for the package, like a one-time fee of $300, but then it's like $70 a month.
Okay.
But you get like normal cable. It's all the channels and all kinds of shit. So it's pretty good. It's worth it though.
Yeah, we don't have cable or any of that shit anymore. I got a few streamers, but I'm cheap as shit.
Yeah, I got a bunch of streams as well. I got this because I love football, and that's what I'll do all day on Sundays is watch football. So, Yeah, that's.
I code.
I get 1 day off a month, or a week, not a month, a week. So that's what I choose to do on my day off.
Besides stream, he streams as well.
Let's see. We got Tavi says each res should choose their runners in their own way. If you don't like it, change reses. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then she goes off and says, Midas is accepting new members.
Jeez. Sounds like some fucking advertisement bullshit to me.
Taffy came in like the Kool-Aid man. Padre Bry says, just to make a point, not agreeing or disagreeing, but if Equinix races aren't top-level grade 1s, you're not going to see the best horses competing in Equinix. That, in turn, will cheapen the Equinix. Again, we're taking it all under advisement. So
no, that's a fair assessment.
Absolutely.
I mean that's 100%. I mean that's the kind of feedback we're looking for, and yeah, I mean everybody's it's and that's why I'm sure the residency manager will probably poo-poo over everything we said, and we get that, but. And this year we probably won't change it probably won't change like removing grade 1s. But if they stay grade 1s, we're going to have to make some serious consolations on carding grade 1s like 2 years from now.
Yep.
For to accommodate the Equinix, because those races, I know Frank added some grade 1s this year. So I mean, if we do run if we do accommodate the Equinix this year and don't push them to next year, we are definitely going to have easily the most grade 1 races run ever in a game in the game in the year. And like you said, we don't want to cheapen it. We don't want to cheapen the Equinix races for the horses, but we also don't want to just keep adding grade 1s like candy. So we do. That's we have a lot to think about. But that's actually a very fair assessment.
Yep, sure is. Metalnut says you can make the main surfaces and distances 8 to 10, dirt and turf, and some of the non-popular races make them grade 2s. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ways we can go about it.
Yeah, and maybe that's the method. I mean, like we said, and I'm sure Metalnut's going to be a huge. When we get into this, Equinix rethinking structure, I know he'll be, he'll definitely be a huge voice in the room. I mean, he's obviously in the past helped quite a bit, so he knows a lot. So yeah, I mean, that's actually, maybe that's where we go with it is, I won't say cheapen some. Well, I mean, some races can be cheapened. I mean, we don't have a bunch of, if depending on when we run it, maybe we make that the first grade 1 route race in the game or something, 2 months before the Breeders' Bowl, and then almost like the Equinix winner. If it's a grade 2, then obviously the Equinix winner is almost always going to be in the Breeders' Cup, Breeders' Bowl. We've got but we do have some thinking to do. But that's
Let's see.
But yeah, all the ideas here. I mean, and this is why Bride made a good point. Metalnut's making great points. Everybody's making great points, and this is why when I say we're just literally spitballing.
Yeah,
we're not making any promises. We just we're just throwing shit out here.
We have some general ideas, but even then, we're not sure if they're good, bad, or whatever. We're just not really ready to share anything yet as far as that. Because
even the ideas we have are just binorly fleshed out.
Yeah, I mean, and right now we're solely focused on infrastructure, so everything else is pretty much taking a back seat to that. So that's the route we're on at the moment. Again, Equinix will definitely resolve itself as we go along here, but it'll have its due course here when we're ready for it.
Yeah. And to self brag, we've got some good infrastructure. Like I said, the week that I'm off, I made some pretty good headway over the last several months. About the last 2 months, I think I mentioned like the carding is that the getting horses into races, the jockey code. I'm rewriting the computer entry of horses into races. Frank's looking at the rewriting the claim, how the claims are distributed, and all that currently is written in old Visual Basic code. And that's what I keep. The first part of the infrastructure is to get everything out of that Visual Basic code. And those are things that initially are going to be a huge lift off of that, but also once we get them complete, they should speed up a lot of the entry and things that you see that slows down, like when you're seeing horses get entered into races, and then we're staggering times and things to make it available. That should speed that up notably.
All right. So Esremel said, Would be nice to see price differential on he mares between stakes winners and graded winners. Also, would be nice to see stakes placed as 300 between stakes winners and allowance. Graded should be super cheap, in my opinion. You want those horses to be bred.
Yeah, I think that I don't remember what the breakdown is.
It's just what I remember is 200 and up for stakes win. If you have a minimum stakes win, it's 200 and up. If you have a minimum allowance, it's 400 up. So, and then I don't know anything after that because I've never bred anything past that.
Let me see if I've got it in e-test. Yeah, let's see. What are the 400? Let's see. So it's literally, I'm looking at the code now. It's 200 for a stakes win, 400 for a stakes. Let me see. 200 plus 200. Okay, so if stakes wins. Okay. So yeah, 200 for stakes win, 400 for or 200. Oh, okay. Let me see. Stakes win equals 0. Yeah, I can't fucking read my code. I can't imagine how Frank has to read this bullshit. So sex equals male times 200 plus. Okay, so it's 200. If there's no stakes wins, and that's another 200. And then I think it's like 200 if no allowance wins equal. If you don't have any allowance wins. So 200 for a stakes win, 200 for an allowance win, 200 for a win. So it's 600 there, and then 400 more. So that's for no wins. That's 1,000. Yeah, that's the way it is.
Yeah, I thought that's how it worked.
Look at you.
Look at that. See, I know things. We got Doc Love says, could the BPs earned potentially be added to the comma separated player extracts?
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, I don't see why not. And again, this just goes back to transparency. I mean, I think the thing is there was a time, and CPU value is a great example of this. I don't know if people remember, CPU value used to not be listed publicly. And when I made it listed publicly, it became a thing. And people were like, oh, well, you know what? I don't want it listed publicly. But ultimately, it needed to be public information. And the reason it needed to be public information is you needed to know which horses could get in races. The things like the breeding points per race, technically speaking, and this is the thing, is there's things that need to be private, things like your password, things about a horse conditioning, things about a horse form, which even the player doesn't know. But things like breeding points earned per race technically doesn't need to be private because technically it's not. People can back into, if someone is ambitious enough, they can figure out exactly how many breeding points your horse earned based on, all that information. Even though it's not public, it's obfuscated. So technically at this point, somebody who wants to go through with a little bit of coding knowledge and takes the time to bother to download the extract files, they can figure it all out. And at that point, if you have a player that can gain a huge advantage, or at least an advantage over someone just by looking at the files because he's pretty savvy with the computer, why not give that information to everybody? And so I'm really not against giving that breeding point information out. I mean, I'm sure some people will be unhappy with it, but it technically exists and it's technically public, and there's nothing you can do to not make it public. It's just a matter of it's not listed.
Yeah, I mean, we've also said with the rewrite, we plan on being much, much more transparent, giving you guys a little bit more data to kind of dig into and figure out,
and not only to dig into, but just to show you, guys how stuff, to give you guys, the not just the impression, but the truth that, we want to operate an above board operation. You guys to know that we're operating above board operation, and we want to give you guys, stuff that can afford to be public, that is technically really public anyway. We want to give you as much of that information as possible, which is why we're talking about giving away the list of sires, giving away the floors and ceilings. We're not giving away the sireability, right, but we're giving away information that technically, is available. I mean, if you hung around the sire ratings long enough, or you hung around a sire long enough and watched it get to the floor and it didn't move for 2 days, that's the floor. Yeah. And then the ceiling, you see it all the time with a sire that's at 812. That's his ceiling, because then he'll get bred more and he'll go up to 813 or 814. So I mean, you guys kind of know that information anyway. Put it this way, it's just not in a nice, easy to read list, but it's all out there. So I mean, that's kind of the transparency, and give you guys information that you can already get, just in a real painful ass way to get it.
Yeah. I agree. Sabbath says, would it be possible to have some races in different conditions, like 10 races for turf sprints for older males, etc., determining the different HOI categories, or would it make some more, excuse me, sorry, it would make some races more important for Horse of the Year. It would eliminate the will to add races just to get a Horse of the Year, and it would even out the unfairness towards dirters, milers, and sprinters, and fix the Equinix issue.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to. That's one of those questions I'm going to have to sink some teeth into. So Sabbath thought about that, and I'm not smart enough to. As I've said, my comprehension skills, unless I read something 37 times, are pretty shitty. So yeah, but as far as the good news is, and from at least I'll give you a good news is that I know Frank went through and added a lot of grade races this year at some different distances and surfaces, so it should be a lot more fair than it has been in the past. Historically, obviously, turf routers have been.
I would say we're not much closer, to be honest.
Turf route, and this is the unfortunate nature of real horse racing versus U.S. horse racing versus whatever. I mean, the biggest races in the world outside the United States are turf routes.
Yep.
Almost to a race. Once you get to the United States, you've got the Turf Classic, but outside of that, everything's a dirt route. The biggest races, and I guess there's actually a lot of turf sprints that are huge, especially like in Australia and even England. So, but yeah, it's just a different logistic. Having a Horse of the Year for the entire game is probably, and this is it's a little bit hokey, but the game is a little bit hokey in the way that we let people travel all over the world without any consequence. Theoretically, if I wanted to make the game quote unquote more realistic, I would probably really try to do a better job tying people to a hemisphere, at least tying people to one side of the globe or the other. I've floated that in the past and it went over like a turd in a punch bowl. So I'm not sure that it's the best way to approach the game in aggregate. But yeah, it's, I'm kind of getting off topic here, I know, but ultimately, yeah, we do want to, any idea that goes towards making the Equinix, a fair, to encourage the best horses while keeping it fair to people that can't compete in the Equinix for one reason or another. I mean, all those will come into account. So
Squirrel has an interesting idea. She said, drop the grade value and balance it designation as a BB lock prep or something that might help keep the competition level up. That's a unique idea.
Well, we could totally lock in I don't know if I have a, I don't have it formally, but I could.
It's probably hard.
I'm thinking you guys don't want to know. Yeah, there's something called a special race ID that probably even shows up like in the sire extract, and it ties back. If you look at the Derby lock preps, they have a very unique race ID. I could do a very similar race ID to those Equinix races, lock them in as, I could even, I could lock them in for almost a year or something. Like, if you win that, you'd be guaranteed to enter certain.
We would just have to guarantee that it will either rolls over for the current year or the following year, depending on when the Equinix is run. So,
hell, we could make it. Well, no, that would be too much. I was gonna make it like a permanent key to get in races or some shit. But then people just better all kinds. Some shitty horse that won an Equinix by happenstance running in every grade one race ever known to man. We don't need that kind of drama.
Dingo says, how hard would it be to code an Equinix specific race class with its own set of rules for how points, etc., are disseminated in-game towards EOY, Hall of Fame, etc., and a gold, silver, bronze medal?
Yeah, we're probably not doing that.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I would say this. It's hard enough. It would be hard enough under new infrastructure. It's extremely hard under the current infrastructure. And the other thing about it, as far as awarding the medal or the badge, that's easy. Coding things that turn out to literally only specifically probably be applied to, 5 times 16. It's 80 horses twice a year or once every 2 years. It's a lot of work for a little return of value, at least, from from a game standpoint in that regard.
King Ab says I'm the reason why we can't have nice things. That's true.
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
We got.
Why are you still up, Larry? Shouldn't you be in bed?
I know.
Shit,
right?
I talked to Larry earlier, and he said, "I'll try to stay up, Mikey. That's pretty late tonight." He's out here fucking wilding out at 10:50 at night.
He's gonna hit the club as soon as we finish.
We do have to spin the wheel soon. Why don't we roll up some questions and spin some wheels? Because we've been doing nothing but talking.
Well, we just caught up on questions. That's why.
All right. Well, let's spin some damn wheels.
We've been getting blitzed on the questions. I wanted to make sure because we had been gone for so long. I wanted to make sure we got all of them.
Gone so long. All right. Here's the first question. Winner gets a No Nay Never share. Name the band that sings "Gone, Gone, Gone." She been gone so long. She been gone, gone, gone so long. Gone, 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 she been gone so long. She been gone, gone, gone so long. Gone, 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 she been gone. Nobody knows this. This is an nope, not AC/DC. Absolutely not AC/DC. Chilliwack, close enough. I think the spelling's a little off, but Dockman definitely wins. So I'd over that. It's a song called "My Girl" by Chilliwack. But yeah, it might be. Yeah. So we got Dockman is the winner. So.
All right, I am gonna
have to go breed a No Nay Never.
Are you breeding one or are you giving a share away?
I'm gonna give a share away. Sorry, I gotta go.
All right, so we have 3 Art Collector shares that we're gonna give away for sure. Actually, I think
is that in the administrator stable? Just like
it is.
Did I buy a bunch of those?
It was a refund. So
okay.
So we're gonna go ahead and breed them tonight and give them away as. Oh, actually, you know what? I'll breed them to mares and give them away as prizes. So y'all will be surprised with it. This will be for a sire share. Let me just prizes. I gotta write this shit down, otherwise I'll forget.
I bet you Chilliwack has never been the answer to a trivia question to give away a sire share in the history of the world.
Probably not. So I'm gonna read your guys' names off here, and if you'll have probably about 2 minutes to respond after I've read the names, but. If you don't hear your master, that means you're not on my list.
And if you're have you told them to sign up on the Google sheet? Are they all Googled up?
Everybody. Well, I mean, I've told them a few times. So if you're not on the Google sheet,
if you haven't signed up, go do it now.
If you're not there, do it now. But here's who we got right now. We have Amir, Aston, Beefkeg. I'm not sure who that is. Bizals.
That's totally a horse name. Whoever names the horse Beefkeg just won the day.
Sea Dog 100. Maddie's on here. Craterus, Croft, Dennis Schaefer, Dingo, Dockman, Doc Love. We got Dwayne Chris, Dunville, FL Rancho, Gurkey, Glenmore Park, Great White, Hack, Harry, Iron Mike, Ivan Yamil, Jono, Cashborn, Kamuggle, King Abs, Laudro, L. Bailey, Ladelsky, Lindsay Park, Lucky Rabbi, Magoo, Mighty Forgo, Next Bonus, Padre Bry, Punter 34, Rick 480, Rob, Scooby, Sabbath, Sea Cadet, Shag Farm, Smithy, Spin, Squirrel, S. Rimmel, Super Taffy, 10 Point, V-Man, VK Stables, Wrathbeard. If you did not hear your name, that means you are not on my list.
Metallinut said how and where. I'm wondering if he's asking about the sign up. Was he on the list?
It is. I didn't read his name, I don't believe. No,
okay, make sure he gets in.
No, so if you enter, so there's a pinned link. There's a pinned comment in the chat there. Just click the link, fill your name in, fill your master stable in there, and I will pick it up and drop it into the spin wheel here one more time before we go. I will do attendance again before we go.
Is Dockman 2 Dockman's master stable?
Yes.
Okay. Not sure how I got Dockman 2, but there we go. All right, Dockman, you should have your No Nay Never share. Yeah.
Let's see. Our collector is dead. Is this a quick trick question? Well, no, we're well aware he's dead, but he was in the game for 2-year-olds. And I think we only retired him to 3, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's still available to be bred at 3. I just know that if you had a 2-year-old share already because you bought it last year, it turned into a 3-year-old share this year.
Yeah.
So that's why we're giving them away. So we are very well aware that our collector never bred a mare, and
yeah, this is like one of those special NFTs.
Indeed, this is one of those unique NFTs that might be worth millions one day. So
limited edition art collector NFT.
There you go. Sell it, Mike. Sell it. Hold on, let me get you on the screen. Car salesman, go.
Bye.
Oh, we're done. All right. Well, there you go. So I guess this one we're going to do the sire wheel for this one. We'll do the art collectors last. I'll breed them to mares. But let me get the list. Frankels for all. You want me to
Frankels? No, absolutely not.
No, there's 60 of you.
Unless you want the Frankel shares to go up to 273,000 points after this, we absolutely don't need that. I'm going to go get a water, by the way.
Have at it. I'm getting this set up. I'm going to give attendance here once more. Again, this is it. If you don't hear your name, that's the end of it. We're going to spin the wheel for the first winner. We got Amir, Aston, Beefkeg, Baseball, Bizal, Sea Dog, Chips, Craterus, Croft, DJ, Dennis Schaefer, Dingo, Docman, Doc Love, Donnie Baseball, Dwayne Crisp, Dunville Downs, FL Rancho, Gurkey, Glenmore Park, Great White, Hack, Harry, Iron Mike, Ivan, Jono, Cashbarn, Kamuggle, King Abs, Laudro, L. Bailey, Liam, Lidelsky, Lindsay Park, Lucky Rabbi, Magoo, Metallinut, Mighty Forgo, Next Bonus, Padre Bride, Punter 34, Rick, Rob Scooby, Sabbath, Sea Cadet, Shag Farms, Smithy, Spin Round, Squirrel, S. Rimmel, Super Taffy, 10 Point, V-Man, VK Stables, Wrathbeard. We are going to spin. We're going to spin. So Mike's not back yet, but I'm going to spin the wheel. So this is going to be for a sire share that has not been determined yet. Spin the wheel. Let's see who we get. So if I missed you on this spin, you will be on, I guess we'll try to get you in on the next one. I need to update this list. Who won? Where's the name? Oh, no. Where the fuck was the winner? Am I stupid? Oh, Sea-Dog 100 wins. Congratulations, Sea-Dog. Still figuring out what it is you're going to win here. Sorry, give me 2 seconds because I'm...
Sea-Dog 100. There we go.
Indeed.
It's a name I don't think I've seen before.
I am coding, so... because I have to get a new sire list together. So talk to him, Mike.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to show you my favorite Christmas pick or my favorite Christmas gift this year. So I'm going to roll back here. This is going to tug at some heartstrings. And my wife drew this for me. I think you guys remember recently I was talking about my guinea pig passed away. This is a picture of Sir Winnie. Sir Winston here, the guinea pig. Winnie is her name, and yeah, my wife drew, made this for me for Christmas. So I brought a tear to my eye when she when I opened it. So very cool stuff. So yeah, see, Jennifer always coming through. So yeah, if you want to tug at Mike's heartstrings, do something good for Sir Winston.
She's the best.
She was the best. She was the best pig. And you know what we've got now? We had 3 guinea pigs. We bought them all within a couple months of each other back about 6 years ago, a little over 6 years ago in August. Winnie was my birthday present, September 12th, 2017. And 2017. And she made it. Frisk died a little bit before her 6th birthday. Winnie died a little after her 6th birthday. And that left Chloe. And that fucking bitch now, but it's like, I think she's just bored. She squeaks all the time. I don't know if you guys had guinea pigs. They are needy little fuckers, especially when they're alone. That thing just squeaks constantly. So we try to appease her. She's spoiled to death now. But yeah, she's not my favorite. Sir Winnie was my favorite.
All right, guys. I promise we'll be more organized with the next one. So we got Sea-Dog 100 who won the first sire share. We're gonna spin for his share right now.
All right.
Let's see what he gets. This has 238 sires on it.
238 sires?
Yeah. Well, we did add 600, so... Dutch art.
Cool.
That is a sire, right? Like, he's not... I mean, when I say that, I know he's a sire, but I'm saying he's not limited to DS or DDS. I'm pretty sure.
I think so. What do I know?
I'm pretty sure let me check the code real quick. Let me make sure I coded that right. Let me make sure I coded that right. Yes, I coded that right. Okay. Okay, so we got Sea-Dog 100 who wins Dutch art. Congratulations, Sea-Dog. I'll get that over to you tomorrow. Okay. Did I miss anybody for that spin, by the way? I don't think I did. I'm looking. No, don't think I missed anybody. Don't think of. Oh, we're back up to 60.
60. There's got to be bots in here.
How come the sections close to Super Taffy are way bigger than the other ones?
The nice thing to know. Here's the truth. Yeah, I don't know. It's possible, but the good thing is like we said, this is technically the size of the pieces in the wheel do not matter. It is all visual. It is literally based on that hash. So yeah,
join. Get in there and join. This is for Sire Share. Exclamation point join. That'll get you in on the Twitch raffle.
Yeah. But just to let everybody know, exclamation point join will get you in on the raffle, but it's all hash driven.
20 seconds until the raffle is done. 15 seconds until the raffle is done.
There's not a lot of people joining. Keep on joining. Keep on joining.
There's a lot.
There they go.
Is it over? Nope. Now it's over.
The raffle has ended.
Jono wins. Congratulations, Jono. Let's see what you won. You see it or no?
I see. Is he Vision FTW?
Yeah, he's Vision FTW.
Okay, I was like, I don't know who that is.
Sorry. Well, I know the names now. I'm tied into it. So Jono wins. Let's see what Jono wins. We're gonna shuffle. Bam. Is Donnie in twice? Donnie Bishop in baseball? I don't know. I don't think I read Donnie Bishop, did I? I'll look back at it. Paddington. Jono gets Paddington. Congratulations, Jono.
You know, and I tried to watch that Paddington Bear movie. I've heard it's great. I couldn't get into it.
Yeah, that's not my cup of tea. Let's see. There were shenanigans. Donnie Baseball. Yeah, no, just Donnie Baseball. Oh, there is 2 Donnie Baseballs. There we go. Donnie Baseball.
He's removed.
Now he's gone.
You know what? Was there a baseball and a Donnie Baseball? Look at Donnie Baseball cheating.
You sly son of a bitch, you. All right.
Didn't win anyway. Cheating and didn't win. How's that feel, Donnie Baseball?
61 folks in here. But if anyone's getting rigged, it was Donnie. Yep. All right. So Jono, you get that again. You know the drill, man. We'll get you the share tomorrow. We're gonna keep spinning. This one will be for an art collector breeding. I'll use a mare or something. I'll figure it out. But someone's winning art collector. Oh no, I can't use a mare because it's 3-year-old. So you're getting a scratch, which means it's probably going to be really good back end. All right.
I mean, Kim Kardashian.
Oh yeah.
Scratch breads.
Rest the coffee cup on it back end. Let's see what we get. Spin. The anticipation is killing me, Mike. Who is gonna win?
They love it. They love it being slow like this.
Next bonus.
They love to hate it and they hate to love it.
Next bonus is getting an art collector scratch. Congratulations. Next. We'll go. Do you want to give? Is there anything in particular you want to give away, Mike?
You know what? I'm going to see if I've been breeding a lot of horses.
I've seen.
No, I had to do some testing. So I'm not sure if any of them are good. Let me look at my new horses that I've been breeding. Maybe I can find one to give away here. I don't really see any. I bet you if I order by age, I'll find a horse. Let's see. Okay, I've got 2 2-year-olds. Let's see. That's not a good horse. I don't think any of them are good horses. This one isn't bad.
Which one is that?
I've got a 2-year-old Improbable by Pulpit by Uncle Mo.
All right.
Could be worse.
Let's see. What was it? Improbable Pulpit
by Uncle Mo.
Uncle Mo?
Yeah.
As the DDS?
Yeah.
All right. Just making sure I got that right. All right. So we're going to spin this for Improbable. This is Mike's scratch bread.
Implausibler is the name of the horse.
Implausible?
Implausibler. I tried to name it Implausible, but that was taken. Then I tried Implausible with the Z, and that was taken. So that's what I was saying. Yeah, I've been trying. So I went Impossibler.
Indeed. All right. Well, you got to get creative with them names, man.
Impossibler.
Back to S. Remmel's comment earlier about knocking some of these names off the list.
Yeah. I hope he wins this horse just for shits and giggles.
We'll see. She might.
She, sorry.
She's coming up here.
Everybody's a he in the chat because I'm stupid and I've got a poor memory.
Croft.
I'm an old man. All
Croft
right.
is up. So Croft wins your Implausibler.
Yeah, Croft 68.
Croft 68.
Okay.
Congratulations, Croft.
He's sharp right now, too.
Oh, get him entered. 2-year-old or 3-year-old?
2-year-old.
All right. Make sure I'm not missing anything in the chat.
Let me see. Croft 68. Croft 68 on the way. Implausibler.
Implausibler.
There you go. On the way.
All right. So
I'll go look at while you're looking around. I'm going to see some of these other horses that I've bred. I bet you I've got a few more.
all right, we'll do another art collector scratch so we can get rid of these real quick. But we're gonna spin the wheel, and then we'll go back to the sire wheel after this one. I think I got one more art collector scratch I got to do.
Yeah, I bred some really bad horses in the test case stable because Larry gave me shit about it.
There we go. Let's see who we got. Who's winning? Oh. VK Stables. Congratulations. You win an art collector scratch bread. I will get that over to you tomorrow. All right.
I've got a filly I'm going to give away, and she's not the best. But she's a midshipman by Special Week by Seattle Slew. So I'm going to give
special week.
Seattle Slew.
Seattle Slew. You like using Seattle Slew on the DDS.
Well, I mean, this actually was bred to I think, was this bred? Where's I've got to look at it. I thought this was bred to a mare. I guess it wasn't. Shows you what I know.
One of those was from one of my leased mares, and you bred it to Tappet. Which one, Taffy?
I bet I did.
Oh, yeah, it's true. Yeah. Oh, she's talking about the one that we did, the Tappet that you gave away in one of the streams previously, I think.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so
Sorry about that. I would have kept it if I knew I bred. I'm just giving shit away. I'm giving everything away.
This is Mike's Midshipman Special Week Seattle Slew.
Yeah.
Here we go. See what we roll with here.
An William bred.
Dockman says he got a compilation album, a record with the Chili Wax song when I bought a pair of dress pants in 1981.
Oh, Chilliwack.
There we go. Lidelsky.
All right.
Congratulations, sir.
Yeah.
Too many D's.
Yeah. Chilliwack was definitely like a one-hit wonder, and it was a wild song to be popular. It just didn't, I don't know, whatever.
All right, so I got one more art collector to get rid of. I'm going to do that real quick, and then we'll transition to the more sexy sire shares.
Fair enough.
Here we go. All right, we rolling, baby. Ziebner says, "What did I win just now?" Which one are you, Ziebner?
Ziebner?
Are you Sea Dog 100?
200, 100.
Oh, VK Stables. You won an art collector scratch. So you get the sire is going to be art collector, and I'm going to pick the back end as far as the DS and the DDS. So
probably something remotely decent.
It'll be good. Kim gets an art collector. Congratulations, Kim.
My favorite guy from Denmark.
And we're officially out of art collectors. Thank God. I don't want to breed anymore. All right. There we go. All right. So now, whoever wins this next wheel, or rather, whoever wins this next raffle, exclamation point, joint! Joint! Get in there. If you win the raffle, you're going to get on the wheel. Or you'll get a sire share out of the wheel.
I got a couple of fair to Midland horses I give away here, too.
Oh, have at it, man. Let's start throwing some shit against the wall. See what happens. See what sticks.
All right. I've got me. I got to make sure that Larry hasn't put them in races yet. He put that one in a race, so I'm not going to give it away. You know what? He's got this other horse trained. This is a decent little horse, though. We're going to let me check out the side. No, you know what? I'm not going to give it away. I can't. You know what?
Maddie.
He didn't breed this horse. He didn't breed this horse for the last 6 years, so I'm going to give it away. Yeah. If he would have bred the mare I wouldn't have given it away, but he hasn't bred the mare in years. So, okay, we've got a Teofilo, a Trimpolino, a Teofilo by Trimpolino by Sadler's Wells.
Okay, all right. You're gonna have to read that again for me because the wheel's spinning and all I hear is the clicking of it.
Oh, it's a Trace X is the name of the horse. But
all right, let's see. Maddie wins Maurice. Congratulations, sir.
Oh, not bad.
That's pretty damn.
People have been shitting on Maurice. There's Maurice some love.
Yeah, no reason to shit on Maurice.
Some people call him the Space Cowboy. Some people call him the Gangster of Love, and some people shit all over him. They should do none of those things. His name is Maurice.
Some people call him a Space Cowboy. You wanted to give something away. What was it we were giving you had? What was it?
I'm going to drop the number of the horse in. Let me see if I can put it in the message stream here. Chat rules. Yeah, they're going to make me. Okay, I got it. Jesus Christ. Okay. It's going to try to make me. I'm going to send you the number of the horse. You can put the number of the horse in there, but it's a Teofilo by Trimpolino by Sadler's Wells.
Trimpolino, Sadler's Wells.
And his name is Trace X.
Trace X. I like it. All right. And we're just going to spin Mike's wheel here, wherever the hell I put it. Where the fuck did it? It's around here somewhere. There it is. All right. Spinning the wheel.
The fair wheel, not the Mike wheel. The fair wheel. It does seem to give out more randomly than the other wheel did.
Mike and Frank are tied for the Derby Fever Imaginary Developer Only Trophy. Be sure to run your horses in the Florida Sire Contest. Yeah, we definitely gotta enter. Where are we at? Spin wins.
All right.
Congratulations, Spin.
You get a horse.
Are you sending these horses, the ones that you have bred?
Yeah, anything I'm giving away, I'm sending. So
okay, just making sure I don't have to do it tomorrow.
I figure if I give them away, I feel like I ought to be the one sending them.
All right, we're gonna
the least I can do.
Spin again for another sire share. Oh no! Don't join the meeting. What is that? All right. Well, let me not start.
We're still running at 57.
Yeah, I know. We're doing pretty damn good.
Running hot tonight. We're not even drunk.
I know. That's what's crazy. I feel like we let them down. Just kidding.
Maybe we're actually making a little sense tonight.
I know. We're talking about fighting kindergartners or anything like that.
None of that tonight.
We kept it very, very G.
Because I was talking about the way chicken thighs smell, and nobody enjoyed that.
Jono cleaning up. Jono won a raffle. He just won on your wheel.
Damn.
Congratulations, Jono. Now we're going to spin the wheel and see what Jono gets for a sire.
Sire, I'm gonna breed another horse for the people.
There we go. See that?
I'm gonna breed a really nice horse too. I'm gonna try to find one that Larry doesn't normally breed to in my test case stable, and I'm going to breed it to.
All right. I'm going to spin it again because Dutch Art came up again, and there's no possible way that.
I'm telling you, that's why we have Mike's wheel.
Well, I can't drop 238 sires on.
You don't need 238 sires. Why does it got to be 238? Drop like 120. You can drop like 120.
All right, hold on a second. Let me do that then.
Yeah, I think my wheel is good up to 120.
But will your wheel reset if I open it? Yeah, it should. It should reset in a separate window.
Yeah, and if you have Firefox and Chrome, then you're two anyway. Right, they should be in separate. They should be separate anyway.
Yeah, we're all right. Let me go back to my code and we'll change this up a little bit. No filter. Run that.
No bandit. Oh, I gotta let's say more than Moretti's not bad.
Run that. No order by. That's what I want to do. No order by. We want what? 120 is what we said.
Well, yeah, 120 should do it.
Why are you automatic? Shit. All right, I know what we'll do.
What are we going to do, Frank?
This is something
Oh, wait a minute. Hello. Oh, I think I gave away one of this horse's offsprings in the chat. Let me check and see who owns it. Yeah, somebody named Twitched owns it. I gave horse's offspring didn't do good. I gave it Street Sense. Okay, we're going to do...
I'm trying to figure out a clever way to do this. Give me 2 seconds. What can I use? What can I use? What can I use?
You're looking for a random field?
Yeah.
I mean, just I mean, you can always just order.
I'll do the ID.
Yeah. Breeding.
There we go.
You can always order by MD5.
That's true. I could.
But either way.
All right.
My favorite. Fine sires. I'm gonna breed this to a nice little sire. Let's go find some sires here.
Oh shit, that didn't work.
So find us a Kentucky bred sire to give away. I'm gonna buy a couple of Kentucky bred sires. I'm gonna breed them to horses, and we're gonna have us a dandy time here. Let's see.
All right. Fuck it. Just get random horses here.
We're going to get a Munnings, and we're going to give away. Let me see who else. How about a?
Where's 120? Where's 120? 120, 120, 120. There we go. Oh, shit. Too many. Sorry, guys. I promise I've done this before. Here we go.
Go Zapper. We're going to do another Go Zapper. I love me some Go Zapper. Go Zapper, one of my favorite horses ever.
There we go. All right. This is that clean. All right. And somebody won. I think it was, who won? Jono, if I remember correctly. We're spinning the wheel, 120. I don't know why that one is so big. I have no idea why that one is so big. It just says USA. Oh, it picked up. No, wait. How would it pick that up?
I don't know.
Oh, tell me it's going to land on it, though. That's pretty funny. Oh, it passed it.
Where are we? Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like I said, the size really does not matter.
Oh, okay. It's just, I don't know why it picked up USA.
You must have had it like it behind a parenthesis or some shit. 120 is a lot.
It did. Sure did.
Still tried. Look at it go. Look at my slow wheel go.
Your slow wheel, man. This thing, we might get a horse tomorrow.
We might get a horse tonight. I don't know if it'll work with it. We put over 120 in after the parenthesis. We'll let it spin one more time around. We might have to cut it down to 100. I've never done 120 with it, Frank. I just said in theory.
Epiphania, however you say that name. Congratulations. I think this was supposed to be Jono, right? Yeah, it was Jono. Thank you. All right. Thank you for saving the name there. So you get the Japanese sire Epiphania. I think I said that right. Too. What do you got, Mike? You got something you're giving away?
I'm trying. Let me go breed a horse. I'm going to give a horse away, and I'm going to give it away. Let me see. I'm looking at my mares. I'm going to give it. Let me look. Make sure that we've got. I had a horse. Let's go over here. Let's go down here. I'm going to try to find a horse. No, this ain't helping. Oh, here's one. This horse is she's only 7. He'd kill me if I bred that horse.
Creepy, you gave away art collectors and got Dutch art twice. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I don't know why it did that, to be honest, but hey.
You know why you're spinning that shitty wheel.
Well, yeah, I do know why, but I don't know. Like, I didn't think it would come up with 238 sires on it. I mean, that seemed a little crazy.
Okay, this horse has never been bred. How's he never bred this horse? Yeah. This is man. I can't give away that horse. He'll kill me if I give away that horse too. I'm trying to think of what Larry's going to be the least mad about if I give away a horse. Here's one he hasn't bred since 20. Oh, this will be a good bred horse too. This 19-year-old mare hasn't bred since 2015.
There you go.
So yeah,
Mike pulling out all the diamonds for you guys.
I'm trying.
Taffy says Taco Bell taste test ran today. Ran like Taco Bell comes back out.
So it felt good, huh?
Well, it didn't do very well apparently. Oh God. Let's see. Look at my shares. We're gonna do let's do it. That's actually, from what I understand, John, that's actually a pretty good Japanese sire. So
yeah. Lesson learned.
Yeah.
That's the problem with these Japanese horses, man. People say they're not in the game. They're in there, and people then say they're not rated well. They are.
They are. As evidenced by Maurice.
So
right,
yeah,
well, Mike does that. I'll spin one more time.
Yeah, I'm trying here,
and I'm gonna go back to the other wheel just for the sires and pray to God it doesn't pick Dutch art.
If it does, it's not Dutch art.
King Ab says, Mike, stay out of the test case stable.
Oh, absolutely not. I'm taking good horses left and right. Horses that you refuse to breed. Here's a horse this horse has been owned by 3 people. You can't possibly want to breed this thing, Larry. I promise.
Bazals. Congratulations, sir. You win a sire share. Let me go ahead and get that one up here. We'll do this wheel, I think. Yep, this is the one. And I swear if Dutch art comes up, I will remove him.
This would be an interesting little breeding.
Here we go. Ideal World. Ideal World is who Bazal's one. Congratulations, sir. I think that's all right. So sires. What do you got, Mike?
I've got one horse I'm breeding, but I want to go ahead and breed one more. Give away one more sire share. I'm going to breed 2 horses together.
All right, I'll give away another one then. We'll do another raffle. Let's see what we got. We'll change it up a little bit. We'll give Mike's wheel a break. Exclamation point join. I actually buy the Japanese sires. Not much luck. Yeah, might change it. Japanese sires are really good in the game. Most of them, anyway.
Yeah, they're better. They're usually rated better than they are really, just because.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Almost most things that we don't understand overseas are. So, to be completely fair. We're probably more critical of the U.S. stuff than anything else, and
because we know what's going on here.
Yeah, and that was kind of the reason why some of the U.S. stuff got a nice little kick in the pants, or a nice little bump up, not kick in the pants. Let's see, Magoo wins.
The Magoo.
Congratulations, sir. Let me go ahead and get you added here, Magoo 2912, because I always fuck up when I gotta give you gifts and send it to some player named Magoo and not you. We're gonna spin the sire wheel. Booyah! Here we go.
Booyah!
See what we got. I should have shuffled. Fuck. Connect. Another solid sire. Some good stuff being given away.
Let's check this horse. I think this might be a good horse to give away. Oh yeah, we're gonna breed to this horse. This is likely a complete outcross too.
Baggio says he missed getting on the wheel. Yeah, I'm guessing yes. Yeah, Baggio, if you didn't fill out the form, the Twitch form, there's a link pinned in the chat. If you click on that and then just enter your master stable, it should get you into the wheel. I can go ahead and add you right now.
All right, I got us a couple of horses to breed here, a couple of horses to give away here, Frank. I'm worried about Larry. He's all on my mind because I'm afraid of him. He's gonna call me up and give me the business after I've given all these horses away.
Won't go with Connect.
I've got a horse named Hansy Ghost.
Hansy Ghost.
So it is a 2-year-old bay colt out of Go Zapper by Munson.
All right.
By Tis Now.
All right.
Not a bad little looking animal.
No, that's what I believe they call a high class animal, or
not a bad looking animal.
It's a pretty expensive one. All right.
Yeah.
There we go. We're spinning the wheel. We'll see where Mike's Go Zapper. Is it a filly or a colt?
It's a colt.
There you go. Next Derby winner in 2 years.
Good, man. Yeah, it could be. You never know. Year and a half, whatever. Could be.
Is Tis Now rated well? Yes.
He's all right.
Beef Keg wins.
Beef Keg. Oh, I'm going to assume that's Beer Keg.
I believe it is.
All right, the Beer Keg. If it's not, I really should have named one of these horses Beef Keg. But all right.
Well, who was the DDS on that again? I'm sorry.
Let me look. Fuck if I know. Let me see. Munson.
Who was the DS then? Because I have it backwards.
Go Sapper by Munson by Tis Now.
Tis Now. Duh. We were just talking about it. Sorry. All right. And what's the other one?
Munnings by Encosta de Lago by Zabeel. We've got a very much Australian flavor to this animal.
All right. I completely missed the first two, so you're going to have to tell me that again.
Munnings by Encosta de Lago by Zabeel.
Encosta de Lago. All right. Here's your next one. Going. Beefcake or keg, well done. Indeed, sir. Indeed. Winner, chicken dinner. Let's see who it's going to land on. Who is it going to land on? The anticipation is killing us all.
Anticipation is...
There it is. We got Mike to sing. There it is.
There it is.
Took 2.5 hours. Hey, El Bailey wins. Congratulations, sir.
Hey, I sang some Chilliwack earlier.
I know. I'm just fucking with you.
Chilliwack, man.
All right. So we've given away so far 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 gifts so far. Plus everybody's getting 500 creds.
We're staying at 55 solid. You guys are in it tonight.
Want to make it around 15 before we get out of here?
Yeah, we'll get out of here by 11:30 your time. So what are we giving away this time?
Tell you what we'll do.
What are we going to do?
We'll give away... I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to change the sire list.
Oh.
We will give away a very, very, very well-bred one.
How many are you going to limit to, like five sires?
Let me see what I got on this list.
I'll tell you what. Let's do this.
I got a list of 27. Too many?
You know what? I was thinking if you really want to make it fun, what I would look at, I'm going to look at the breeding. Let's look at the breeding. I'm going to look at I'm going to look at Sire's hot list. Or no, let's go to Fine Sires. I think I know how to do this. It's been a while since I've messed with this list. But I think if I look at 2-year-old sires, and then I hit the update list, and then I order by cost of BPs.
I will let you tell me.
Okay, these are the sires. There are currently 6 sires over 1,000. We'll give one of them away.
All right, no, I can probably rattle them off. Tappet, Curlin, Frankel, Dubawi, Into Mischief, and Flightline.
You got it.
I know 2. That's sad that I remember that. All right, so we're giving one of these bad boys away to whoever wins this spin wheel. So we'll spin the wheel. Last one of the night, and you're going to get...
Is Baggio on? We got to make sure Baggio's on.
Yeah, he's on there. I got him on there.
Okay.
I had him on the last 2, I think.
Okay, cool. Just want to make sure you got him. This is the good stuff now.
Yeah.
Giving away the good stuff.
This is one of the diamonds. We'll shoot it'll shoot the BP cost up once I buy it. People will be like, "What the fuck?" Let's see where we're going, where we landing. It looks like we're going to land on Laudro.
All right. He asks all the questions.
All the questions. The wheel, see that? Your wheel does have biases.
Look at that nice hash, though. That's 2 zeros at the beginning of a hash. That's hard to do.
Indeed. Congratulations, Laudro. You're going to win something. You're going to win a pretty nice share here.
There's only a 1 in 256 chance of that happening.
Here we go. We're going to just spin this bad boy. See where we land. Ooh, it looks like Dubawi.
Not bad.
Hey, there you go, man. Congratulations. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for us tonight.
I think so.
I'll let you go ahead and say final words, man.
Same as always. You guys could probably set your watch by these final words. Seriously, thank you guys for showing up. Thank you guys for playing. Been doing this 25 years, unexpectedly still at it. Having a lot of fun. Working a lot on the game, but I love the work I do with the game because you guys make it worth my while. I just enjoyed running the game, and I couldn't be more thrilled to have everybody here. And as always, extra special thanks to Frank. He's out here running the show and really keeping the player base placated and happy, both.
Semi.
And then, of course, special thanks to everybody that helps in ways, shapes, and forms. The King Abs, the Spin Rounds, the Roxy Kins. All you guys really, help, on a weekly basis in your own ways. And it's really greatly appreciated. That's all I just want to say. So, but thank you all again.
Thank you guys
I love doing
again.
This stuff.
Yep, it's awesome. Love y'all. Love the comments in the chat, and love chatting with everybody. So if you guys have anything, or questions or concerns or something that we can help with, again, best way to get me is probably in the Slack chat, because I practically live there. But you can also send us an email, and you can also hit us up on the forum, and we will try to get back to you as soon as we can.
But, absolutely.
Indeed. Well, thank you guys again for joining tonight. We'll get the prizes out tomorrow, and we'll catch you in the next one.
See ya.